Well, we're back.
7 minutes in.
7 minutes into the show. Huh.
That's the
earliest. The worst. Yeah, that one was the worst. So for all of our listeners, just refresh your page and you'll be able to get back into the chat room. I'll have to go over to the Facebook and put a message on and let everybody know that the first one is 2 minutes long.
2 minutos.
I'm actually just going to delete this one.
It's crazy. It's getting worse and worse. Earlier and earlier.
Yeah, that's the earliest it's been. I mean,
the other one was 20 minutes in, 24 minutes in.
It was averaging 24 minutes in. We made it to 7:06 and 52 seconds today. Yeah, well, they're supposed to come out here and finish their diagnostic tomorrow. And they know I fucking broadcast live. You know, the dude asked me, "Are you making money at this?" I'm like, "Bro, I wish. If I was making money at it, you really think it would be in my garage?" And I'm like, "What difference does it make if I make money?" "Well, if you're making money at it, you have to have a commercial account." I said, "Yeah, there's one fucking snafu with your commercial account process." He's like, "And that is?" "You have to have a commercial
building
mm-hmm. in order for you idiots to come in and run commercial internet." Mm-hmm. "Oh, I didn't know that." I said, "And you work for Bright House.
These are the people you got working for you. You don't know. You
right.
should have a commercial account." No, you
right.
can't. No. Not here.
Yeah, it was quite amusing when he said that. I'm like, "Why? Are you gonna?" Wow.
Something.
Yeah, no, I just turned down one of the mics, and it made a huge difference in that back noise.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know which one it was.
That one.
It's the one with the fuzzy black ball.
I don't know why. Don't know why. But, anyway, so we're 12 days from Christmas. Everybody get their Christmas slobbing done? You did? You done?
eBay.
Yeah. Timmy's like, who am I going to go Christmas shopping?
Yeah, who am I going to go Christmas
I'll buy myself a fucking cup of coffee in the morning and call it a day.
I bought everybody one thing because it was my first Christmas as a family kind of thing.
Timmy says, it's just another Thursday. Really?
Right?
It is?
Well, me, Kaylee, and Adam, yeah, it'll be our first Christmas as a family. And
well, then that's a special
with my
thing.
family's kind of being all split up with all the family problems I got going on and all the family problems he's got going on.
Which I can understand.
We're staying home.
Yep,
so everybody can come to us.
Absolutely. I can understand that 100%. Because
so everybody got something small. Next year, it'll be all about my kid. Don't buy me shit. I won't buy you shit.
Yeah, because I got a screwed up family, too. I haven't talked to my sister in years. Yeah, she hasn't even acknowledged her niece. I mean, Maria, you have siblings, right?
Yeah.
Just tilt that down a little.
Cock
there
it
you
down.
go.
Cock it down.
Yeah.
You have siblings, sisters.
Yes.
They have kids. You got nieces and nephews from them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you were fighting with your sister, you wouldn't disrupt your relationship with your niece, would you?
No, I still talk to my nieces. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. That's what I mean.
There's just too many ways to avoid having to see the other person.
Yeah.
I mean, video chat.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's understandable living so far away. Like Maria, same instance. Her family's up in Pennsylvania. You got nobody down here. You're like me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Tony, his family, that's all you got down here.
Mm-hmm.
Same with me. Michelle, her family, that's all I got down here. I got nothing. Friends? Psst, what friends do I have down here? I got no friends down here. I got a bunch of people I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't even like you.
Right.
Acquaintances.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like you go on Facebook and, you know,
random.
80% of them are actual acquaintances. They don't ever hit you up other than maybe 4 or 5 likes on your page a year.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, your kid's cute.
Mm-hmm.
She's so big. Yeah, because you haven't liked her in, any of her pictures in 3 years.
You haven't seen her or talked to her. And,
God, she's gotten so huge. How'd that happen?
Life.
Watch Facebook. You'll see her fucking grow.
Yeah, exactly. My brother, for instance, the first niece, the first kid in the family. The kid had the kid, I was the first one to have kids in the family. First words at it. What the hell was that? Oh, you hit the mic.
It sounded like
yeah, I thought it was the
like
Kraken coming out or something. No, you hit the screen on the mic with the headphones, and it went like like the Kraken coming out of the ground.
Crackhead.
The Kraken. No crackheads here, buddy.
No.
Yeah, I don't allow them in my fucking house.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so enough said with that. We'll move on. Yeah, I know. I see you getting frustrated over there.
only because it's slow as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, they decided to send me another one for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, John. How are you this morning, sir? I didn't even realize he had made it. Yeah. Oh, shit. Why didn't this refresh now?
I don't have a message.
I don't have anybody in chat.
I don't have
anything on Spreaker right now. What is going on? John, can you hear me? John, message me on this message board here. Now I got it. But, okay, I got it now. I don't know why.
I still don't got it.
I don't know why.
You don't have what?
I don't have chat.
Refresh.
No one's.
John's
No
in the chat
messages on
room.
chat.
Good morning,
Yeah,
John.
John,
How are you?
yeah.
He hears us.
Yes, he hears us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had 7 minutes in, John. She dumped on me, so I don't know what happened. But we have the technician coming out tomorrow to finish his diagnostic.
A diagnostic.
The diagnostic.
Does the maintenance guy know that
The
he's
maintenance
coming?
guy's a fucking loser. We fired him.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that was me.
Yeah,
Shit.
see, he would make sure.
He's like, I wasn't paid anyways.
He's like, if I could not hear you, I would text you.
Yeah, he would text me on my phone and say, what the fuck? Yeah, he's done it a few times. Be like, no show today? You're killing me.
Replay.
Yeah. Sorry about the
Are you still
replay
playing?
yesterday.
Nope. I'm tucking my feet
I'm
under.
putting a fucking board, a
Tucking
wall
the
up
feet.
between these two because they're like playing footsies over here all day.
Well, he
She
keeps
keeps-
sticking the tip of his toe. Look,
That's
we
what's
all
wrong.
have
I
desks.
They're tangling
just
the
like
wires
this.
over there.
Well, me
That's
and
what
Lou
it
are the
is.
only ones that share a desk.
But I'm just sitting, and my feet do not move.
He's
You're
got
the one
all that
kicking
damn
me.
desk, Lou.
You're the one kicking me.
I know, and he sits in the corner.
Yeah.
I sit in
He's
the
got
car.
that whole
all right,
desk.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
He's
take
like,
this
listen,
microphone
I'm
and
King
put it on this
Tut.
side so he can.
This is my
I
corner.
can sit this. I can
So you
sit
can
this
sit
one.
that way.
Yeah.
Take
Good.
this
I don't wanna
monitor
look at you
and
anyway.
put it
Good.
over that
Good.
way.
Enough said.
Sit in your fucking corner, okay? It's a good thing these computers are holding me back.
Put him in the bathroom.
Oh, but then that would give her the back of his head for a target.
For what?
I don't know. Whatever she feels like throwing at the back of your head.
Spitballs.
Right?
She's got to nothing.
You guys remember doing that in school? Because I used
In
to do that all the
school?
time.
What are you kidding me? Me and my mother and my sister started a spitball fight in fucking in the.
Oh, no, you didn't do that shit in my house. My
It
mom
was
would
an
have flipped a
all-you-can-eat
nut.
buffet. We did it. We were out in public. My
Oh, yeah,
father
we
got
did
out
it
and
there.
left.
My
Yeah.
mom didn't care
Sizzler.
if we did it there.
Sizzler. Love Sizzler Steakhouse.
Was that West Babylon over there?
I don't remember. That's how long ago it
Lindenhurst?
was. I don't remember.
Sizzler has
It
been around for
was-
years.
It was late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, all right.
I don't remember where. I know it was Sizzlers, and I know my mother started it off the salad bar with the sunflower seeds. She shot me in the head. It hit me, landed in my plate. No big deal. I didn't say nothing. I go on to eat my food. All of a sudden, I bite into a sunflower seed. I was like, ah.
You tasted
All
that
right.
one sunflower seed.
I was like, all right, okay. That's when all hell broke loose. My brother, my sister, me, my mother. My father got pissed off and walked out. He's like, would you cut it out? You're embarrassing me. You guys are, and I mean, he got louder. Finally, he got up and walked out.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, he did.
I do that sometimes.
He went and he waited in the car until we were done. When we got in the car, he bitched us out like, oh my God. I can't believe you did that.
And that was the last time going to Sizzler.
Probably.
we ain't going
yeah,
back.
Probably.
And you know what? You ain't going to Disney World either.
Do you know I can't even find the YouTube broadcast right now of us? I'm looking so I can get that up on the Facebook page. There is some weird shit going on with this system. I got to tell you. I am
I don't
going
know.
to
It's
have to
Friday the
rip it
12th, not
apart.
Friday the
yeah,
13th.
I know. What the hell is going on? We're broadcasting. I have the damn freaking, link and everything right here on this computer.
December's like, you got that wrong. We're going to make it Friday the 13th.
Yeah, enough said. Enough said. We got one person watching us on YouTube, so they found it okay.
It's not me this time, so
Yeah.
whoever it is, hello.
Yep. Hello.
Unless it's Tony.
Oh,
Not me.
and whoever went and
It's not
checked
me.
out the No-Beaties ad for the diabetes injections, I thank you because you made us money. I got the report today, and we made a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Going and checking out
Yay.
the offer. And like I said to everybody, that's all we ask. Just inquire.
When's
Give-
payday?
When's what? Yeah,
When do I get my peanut?
right. Well, we figured it out. Everybody gets.
Are
$2.
we boiling those peanuts?
$2, $2, $2, $2.
You got your coffee, babe.
$2 no holla.
Yeah. I gave you
If you want that ground, you get half.
Right. Got to charge you. Got to charge you.
It's not free.
Today, in about 40-something minutes, we have Derek Cross going to be on. He's a native Chicagoan who went to Texas and now he's doing all sorts of crazy shit with the hemp plant.
Being awesome.
Yeah. So we're talking oils, we're talking ropes, we're talking clothes, we're talking converting
Things
the
that
oils.
completely can sustain us.
Exactly, from one plant. Hempcrete, you name it, man. I mean, there's so much you can do.
Yeah, but I wonder how hemp rope would do in salt water.
Hemp rope is what rope was made out of originally. So I mean, I guess it does pretty good. Some of them ships are.
Yeah, I know, but
You know
how
what I'm
it
saying?
does in the water.
You should try that out, Tony.
We should try that out.
Have a little Mythbusters thing
Uh-huh.
going on here.
Mythbuster.
What do you figure? Who's going to touch it if we tied it onto the buoy right next to the boat? Nobody's going to touch it and dangle it in the water.
No, I meant dragging Charles with it.
He's saying putting that stuff through some damage.
That's what I mean. It's supposed to be really strong. Right?
You would-
Yeah, I see.
So-
You
You
want
have
to
to-
rig
You have to ask him.
rig a boat with it.
You have to ask
Yeah,
him.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk to him. See what
Well,
happens.
because they say, growing, I guess pot or whatever, it just a few acres of that actually grows quicker than growing an acre of trees. Where it takes like 40 years for an acre of trees, it only takes like
Did you know that they planted? Remember we were talking about the hemp plants that are planted outside of Chernobyl to absorb the radiation out of the ground. The hemp plant processes the radiation and gives off beautiful clean air.
oxygen.
Yep.
We take your shit, we give you
They've taken
fresh.
soil readings when they planted the shit, and then they've taken soil readings as it was growing, and the levels have gone down. After who was it that told us that? Do you remember?
I think it was that guy at the Canna Crush event.
That's right.
I can't remember his name.
Hayden.
No, it wasn't.
Powell?
It wasn't Hayden. It was the one that was the farmer. Remember, there was the farmer.
Yes,
And then
okay.
the other.
In the Dell?
The guy with the
He was a-
hempcrete.
No.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yep,
Was he the
that's right.
farmer in the Dell?
It was the farmer in the Dell.
Yeah.
But yes, I remember. So he was the one that told us about
He read
that.
the book.
Yep. And I seen
Was
it
it
on the
Donald?
internet.
Somebody? No, seriously. I remember.
Yeah, no,
We
I
have
could go back.
We have
I
it
was
written
there.
down
Yeah,
somewhere.
I know.
Yeah.
I know we were all there. That's what's cool, and I really that was a cool past events. That's what I'm gonna go. Oh, I wouldn't have Canna Crush up there.
Probably.
There's a lot of
not,
food
yeah.
products
I
you
don't
can
know.
make from hemp.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Tons.
Why is it
Milk,
crazy?
cereal,
Crazy.
waffles.
Butters,
Salads.
breads,
It's crazy.
candies, cookies.
We just met you.
It's crazy.
Sorry.
More importantly, you can make cars. You can make houses.
All sorts of shit. My
Paper.
biggest thing is the buildings. You
I
know,
had
we
paper
can
made
start
out of
building
elephant
houses
poo.
out of it. The R factor, just like what we were talking about. That guy, he was the one that was talking about it up there at the Canna Crush event. The R factor, and the R factor is that's the scale they use for the insulation. The
I
density
think we
of
need
the
to put our
insulation.
$8 together and just go buy a farm. Yeah. That's
I think with our
We use that
$8,
advertisement money to do that?
I think if we take the $8,
Do we have enough?
we might be able to get a Happy Meal. And split it
Ooh.
all
$1
up.
menu. Hello.
Enough said,
2
right?
things each. That's it.
Yeah, nice. See, the woman with the plan. It's usually the man with the plan.
I'm
but
straight. I'll just take a snack size Oreo
Right.
McFlurry.
The size of her, you give her 3 French fries. She's
Right?
probably
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
This one's
I'm like,
tiny.
I'm
I don't know. Can we
cramming.
even see her on camera? Hold on. Let me see.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
there. There she is. Okay, yeah. Look at her. Yay! But in the PIP, look, whoop, the PIP. I have to go easy with my.
Yeah, okay, quit.
You have to pee
Quit.
what?
Yeah, quit putting in my ear.
Your peas are damaging.
My PIP is broken. So. I'm getting over this cold. I can feel it all being loosened up in my chest, and it's a beautiful
Isn't
thing.
that the worst part of the cold?
Well,
Is
I
it being
got-
loose and you
dude,
just hacking up phlegm?
I'm used to that. You guys see me gacking every morning. It's because of post-nasal drip. I got that all day long, every day. You ever hear me do that?
Yep.
I'm clearing my throat because it's there. It's ready to drip. So
My grandma hates that when you do that.
Michelle almost left
And
me
spit it.
over it. Tell you a funny story. Michelle almost left me over it. You ask her. That was one of those things when you meet somebody that just make you nuts.
Can you not get
You
the fuck
keep
off?
on doing.
Yeah.
Keep on doing. I can't help it.
Yep. She'll tell you. Ask her about it. Ask her. The clearing of my throat, that little noise that I make. That
It's fucking annoying. Can
Yes.
you stop it? Yeah,
She was-
sure.
it was-
I could see her doing that.
Yeah.
Me and Mish were talking
absolutely.
about it the other day, and I actually had a boyfriend that did. I guess your kids like to pour all their corn and shit into their mashed potatoes.
oh, hell yeah, man. They
well,
get
I
that
got
from me.
major OCD when it comes to my food.
Really?
Yeah, I can
We
eat chilies
keep
and
it separate.
stews.
Keep it
But when you
Yeah,
cook me chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans, my shit better be separate.
You're like that. You're one of
That's-
those.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
so
think it's a
you get-
Pollock
She's
thing.
one
You got to
of
come
those.
eat at my house, boy. You'll get a fucking plate. You won't even. You'll
But
be
I
afraid of it.
actually-
What the hell you
You'll
eat?
be afraid of
I
that
like
plate.
I like the vegetables in my mashed potatoes.
Hell
I
yeah.
don't like someone else to do it. I want my shit separate on the plate.
You too?
I will put it there myself.
You
want to
do what you want to do with your food.
Oh, I would have fun
Because
with these guys.
sometimes-
I'd just be it there. With,
No, listen.
I'm
Sometimes
making
I
you-
put it in the mashed potatoes,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes I like,
Eat
depending on the vegetable, I will take the vegetable and
Scoop it and then scoop it.
the mashed potatoes with it.
Oh, see, I don't
depending
even
on
do
what
that.
it
A
is.
little bit of mashed potatoes, a couple green beans, some cube
My
steak.
niece is
You're
like
good.
that. My niece, if she'll, and she's, I mean, she's.
I want to
anal
taste the
about
different
it.
shit.
Well,
You will
because
taste
sometimes I will
Not all munched
I
up
will
together.
eat one thing at a time,
Whole new flavor, Tammy.
depending
Whole
on
new
what
flavor.
it is. Now, I will turn the plate to whatever it is I'm going to eat.
No shit.
Like, yeah.
Dude, I am fucking.
And he'll do like a Happy Meal. He'll eat the French fries first.
Really? My niece
Terrified,
is just
Tony, 'cause
like
I'm
that.
the same way.
My niece is just like that, guys. If her food is touching, forget it. Me
That's so
being
retarded.
me,
It all
we're
goes
at
to
the
the same
barbecue
place.
at their house, and we're making everybody plates, and I'm like
I
this.
And she's looking at you
on
like,
top of everything.
Yeah, I just slop it all in the
Like
middle and let it ooze
Thanksgiving.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. Right. Oh, my God. She just looked at her plate with disgust. And Anna, her
Looked like
mother,
a plate
goes,
of
Lou,
vomit.
I'll make hers. I'll make hers. Don't worry. And finally, that's when I realized, because she's drawing lines.
I'd have looked at you and been like,
on
Uncle
the
Lou?
plate. Yeah.
No.
She's making lines on the plate, keeping her, doing that.
No.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
well, see, I'm not
Oh,
that
my.
bad.
Orders for it.
dude, I would purposely go over, grab her plate, and shake it. So it all mixes back together.
I
She
just
was
don't put
pretty-
enough on there that I can touch. And see, I'm trying not to do it with my kid because I don't want my kid to be like that.
Yeah.
But they
that's
kind of make it easy
funny.
for me because all her plates come separated.
I know what I'm buying you for Christmas. Same thing I'm buying her. The little portion plates with the 4 little
My kid
chambers
has
in
that.
them.
They're awesome.
Little
I'm like, why
trays,
don't they have these for me?
Yeah.
One big one,
They
two,
don't
three
have
little ones.
No, they don't. But see, sometimes they don't have the right
They're not
portion
big enough for
sizes.
me to
Yeah,
eat.
no, no.
certain things. You know, it's like
no way.
Those dividers are taking up a lot of space.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think the divider for like the vegetables is just too
That's
large.
what I'm saying.
You need to smallen that down. Give me more room for meat and potatoes.
Well, yeah. See, I do the opposite. I put the meat in the small little containers because I'm not a very big meat eater, and then potatoes and vegetables and all this shit in the big openings.
I see, you're opposite. You know what?
Yeah.
Chinese restaurants, why they give you so much rice, right? Because actually, it's a custom in China that you eat the meat first. You eat all the
Yeah.
meat and vegetables first, and
And
then the
then you
rice is
rice.
supposed to be a filler.
Okay,
So,
that I did know.
Well, because the meat is more
important.
important than eating the rice, because you can just throw out the rice.
Did you ever
Yeah.
go to a Japanese restaurant? Have them cook in front of you?
The
Oh,
hibachis,
the
yeah.
hibachi.
You notice that the meat comes before the vegetables. Vegetables go on the plate last most of the time.
That drove me
I
nuts.
never noticed that.
Because I always eat my meat like last.
And they fucking
Yeah?
load up those vegetables.
See, I'm that one guy that
They
sits
kill it
at
with
the
that.
table
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
wait for
I'm
them
not a
to
rabbit.
get done cooking all the way.
I'm a
Then I
carnivore.
take my
Like, what
plate,
the hell did you
mix
put?
it all
What
up.
is that?
These are canine
see, I do
teeth.
that too. Though I'll eat my meat last. But if I go to a
Really?
steak restaurant, I'll eat everything else first.
No shit.
Yes.
See, I'm sitting at the Japanese restaurant.
I wanna
waiting
enjoy
it for all
that
to be
steak
sitting
now.
there.
I
Yeah,
wanna enjoy
right?
it.
That's
I
like the
wanna enjoy
best
just
part
the
on the
steak.
thing. It's like, and you always
You
take
save
the
it for
small
your
bites of
dessert,
the meat,
you
too,
know?
so you always have that last bite.
You know you're going to be full, so you have steak for dessert.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, see, I don't know. My parents, when we were growing up, they had the freezer in the basement type thing. We had steak, chicken, steak, veal, pork, veal, steak, meat every single night. My parents were meat and potato kind of people. I can live without meat. I really could. I could go without eating any chicken, fish, any of that. I could live on tofu and vegetables very easily. I just think of the weight that I would lose. Oh my God! I think I'm going to start. Johnny,
Well, see, that's the weird thing. I just got a high metabolism.
Johnny, if you're listening, if this is one of those seconds that you tuned in, I think it's workout time again, buddy.
Let's hit the gym.
Yep. It was wicked. He did it from
The
New
gym
York.
is that way.
I did it down here. I was working out down here. He was working out in New York. He says, gagging fuck.
Where's the gym at? Is it that way? No,
Boy,
it's
we got
that
a lot
way.
of
Is that what
chat
your
it's
going
boyfriend
on.
does every day?
No, he likes to take selfies, and he's got like this
It's
itchy
like-
shirt problem. So
Like Transformers. I just
He says he's been. He says he's been.
Ben, pal. Okay. Well, I know you jump in and out. Got work to do. He's a busy man. He's like, today's Friday, buddy. I ain't busy doing nothing but me. Yeah, well, I was choking before. Yeah.
what
And
were you choking on?
My own spit, unfortunately. It'd be different if I had
Gross.
something in my mouth to choke on, but yeah, unfortunately, it's fucking my own spit. I don't care what you say with that one, but
All right, whatever you say.
yeah, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm just talking about food or something like that. You guys' minds are in the gutter. I just don't know what you're talking about.
Minds are in the gutter. Everyone's mind's in the gutter.
Yeah, well, you know. It's Tony that started it. He's the one.
Shit.
He's like, wait a minute, damn it, I'm trying to drink my fucking coffee here.
Want to wear it?
No, that's why I stopped. I'll wait. Enough said. No, I got 3 monitor protection here. Actually, it's 4
I'm
monitor
telling you, I'm gonna go get one of those SWAT masks with the thing. I'm gonna get some windshield wipers put on that bitch,
I'd be getting it the worst.
I said that, yeah.
or
you
hire a
wear
bum
it.
to just stand in here with some Windex and a paper towel.
You guys missed it, but he almost got Maria good. He got the fucking, the old mic stand pretty good. I left it on there for nostalgic sake. The coffee spits. It's over there. It's still on there.
It's decoration.
I don't know what it was, but he just went like this. I said something, and that was it. You seen his face turn red. Coffee was coming out of his nose, and then all of a sudden,
You couldn't hold it.
well, he swallowed most of what he
then
had.
he said something else.
Yeah. It was quite a morning.
It was too much.
Yeah, it was
It was too much. I couldn't stand it.
I
pressure,
couldn't
yeah.
hold it back no longer.
You should have just spit it back in your cup, but I mean,
Oh, it went
You-
back in the cup.
Most of it did, yeah.
You-
But there
you
was that.
reacted
You had
accordingly.
overspray. It was like being in a paint booth. There's always overspray. Oh, look at this! I got 2 things to review on my timeline here. Aw, look at that! God, that picture makes me look like I got an egghead. But we'll put it on my timeline.
Okay.
It's a picture of me and Michelle in the hospital when Angela was born. Felicia was 7, and Angela was a newbie.
A newbie.
Yeah, brings me way back. It's amazing looking at pictures.
Back to prehistoric
Yeah,
times.
it's amazing looking at pictures from back then. When you look at pictures from when your kids were kids, and it's just like, holy shit. I remember that day. I remember this time. I'm doing this, and God, they were so great. Now they hate me.
you wonder where the fuck the time went.
I'll tell you what. 20 years with Felicia went fast. When she was first born, I was like, this is awesome. I got my kid. We're gonna be together forever. La 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 la. And she was, she stuck around till she was 19. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. But she got her own life now. She's doing her thing. She still lives here, but, which I made her stay here. I know she's safe. The main thing. I know where my daughter comes home and sleeps every night.
I know where your boyfriend sleeps. I know where you sleep.
Exactly.
I know where you are.
Enough said. Yeah. So I haven't even. What are you laughing at?
Oh,
Oh. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
There with a big ass butcher knife.
Jason. I never really got into those movies, the Jason movies, but like you mentioned it the other day on the show when I was out there, the Return of the Living Dead, the Night of the Living Dead, the Return of the Night of the Living Dead.
Love those movies.
Oh God, I love the original, the Night of the Living Dead.
Black
was the
and
best.
white.
The graveyard scene when it starts to rain and all the dead come out of the fucking ground. Best part. Hell
Black
yeah,
and white
especially
movies
when you're
scared the shit
12,
out of me.
11 years old. Those were some nice boobies. I mean, that was a really cool scene.
Nice movie. I mean,
It was
those
a
are nice
good
movies.
movie, man.
It was, dude. I liked it a lot, man. What is this video? This kid is all toasted, man. What is this?
I can't watch that.
Letter sent to MP Phil. Yeah, I can't even look at shit like that. It's a baby that's all fucked up from war over in Palestinian country. But let's move on.
Somebody caught in the crossfire.
Because in 29 minutes, 29 minutes or so, we have our guest, Derek Cross, calling in. And he's a hemp farmer from, I do believe, out west, Texas. He's out there in Texas hemp farming. But we'll clarify all of that when we get him on the air.
Right. I'm going to ask him if everything if it's true that everything else is bigger in Texas.
Enough said.
Okay.
Is the hemp plants bigger in Texas?
Yeah.
Because if the buds get bigger, then I'm not going to Colorado.
All my exes live in Texas.
Yikes.
Is that what you mean? Everything is bigger? You're
So I
talking
stay
about
away
the
from
plants?
He can take it any which way.
Yeah,
okay.
he can take it any way he wants to take it. But
That would be great. You could ship all your exes off to one place.
yeah, right. Enough said. The question will be at hand. The answer is a broad answer.
We want to know.
We want to know, is everything bigger in Texas?
The belt buckles are.
Belt buckles, the boots, the chucks, the bills. Because you can believe it's expensive to live out there.
The fake titties.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know a lot of
You've
people
never
that can
seen like
afford
the
them.
Houston Real Wives
Yeah, well,
or whatever?
I mean, there you
All
go.
those women are like,
You said keyword fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
oh, well, their boobies
stand-
are real fake, you
Well,
know?
the boobies are real fake. I can't stand some of them damn shows, I gotta tell you. Especially True TV. True TV's got to be the fakest shit out there. Miami Beach.
True TV is false TV.
Yeah, it's such bullshit TV.
The realest thing on that show is their titties.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullshit
Yeah,
TV.
Right. The only thing real about the show Miami Towing
Is the channel.
is probably the trucks and the people. They're real, but the plot, the show, the story, the repos, everything else that goes on, it's all fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I saw the one episode where he gets like his ass kicked or something on that repo show by like some kid that knows like karate.
Yeah, come on.
Oh yeah. And
Works at this medical institution, ain't got money to
his
pay
wife
his bills.
Or whoever the woman is in the truck goes out and kicks the guy's butt.
Yeah.
Instead.
Oh, that was so real, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Good job.
it just, it should be, instead of True TV, it should be mindless redneck TV, because basically every country boy, and we'll put it that way, that I know loves that show. I love that show. Lizard lick towing. That's my favorite show.
All I've been seeing on that show is World's Stupidest.
Yeah,
You know, like the top 20. The World's Stupidest boozers
those
or
two shows,
road rage
the
or
world's
something
stupidest whatever, should get together and say
World
the
dumbest.
world's stupidest, the world's dumbest.
World
yeah,
dumbest,
Yeah,
that's what it
they
is.
should
I'm
all
sorry.
get together and do a show about the world's dumbest TV shows. Because, I mean, holy shit, man. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this looks cool. It's a show about repoing. Until you watch about 10 minutes of it. It's like, oh, my God.
I
Oh,
think
you're talking
I
about
just jumped
South
in.
Beach?
That's why I don't
Toe?
watch
Oh, my
TV.
God.
Yeah, well, you watched very little TV. I mean, I think in the beginning, you guys watched more TV than you do now. We sat out in the living room all the time.
I know. What happened to family time?
I don't know. You guys are like hermit
They're like,
crabs.
fuck
You come crawl
family
into the
time.
shell here and don't come out. 5 o'clock in the morning until bedtime. They're like hermit crabs, these two.
Oh, I know what happened. Shrimping happened. That's what happened.
Shrimping.
Scramping.
About-
So,
I'd be shrimping.
yeah, we'd be shrimping.
about-
I'm actually getting over this cold, but I feel like shit still. Yesterday was probably the worst. It was all feverish and yeah,
Blah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sucked.
That-
Sucked. I'm on antibiotics, but it's that 64-hour Ebola flu.
I think it's so
Ebola.
funny when people say
We
words.
finally beat the Crystal River Ebola.
Antibiotics.
Antibiotics is supposed to
Yeah.
help you. It really does.
Antibiotics.
Yeah,
There's a T there.
Annie.
Oh.
Annie,
Annie.
ANNE, antibiotics.
Just like I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, AX.
I won't ask you a question, I'll ask.
Yeah.
I used to have this kid in middle school that used to be. He's like, "Why you dye your hair like that?"
Listen, you have the English language, then you have the New York English language, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And the spellings are completely different. Because if we spelled everything the way we talked, and I can't even say we anymore because I don't really talk like
It
that
would be a
anymore.
whole new language.
Holy shit, people would look at it and go, no wonder those Americans are all fucked up.
Utes?
Yeah, the two youths.
The two Utes?
Did he say Ute?
What is a Ute?
Yeah.
Well, see, the funny thing is, all my life I was actually raised to believe I was Italian.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's why I'm so loud and I talk with my hands because I was actually raised in an Italian
Do you
family.
spit when you talk also?
I gleeked when I had a tongue ring. I don't do it much anymore.
I just found out what gleeked is. Do you know what
Yes, gleek.
gleeking is? It's when the little bubble comes out of your mouth or a little,
Yeah, it's when that little spit comes from right
Yeah.
eye.
yeah,
that little
the gleek, yeah. Like that piercing you got, I always ask people when they got the piercings, if you put water in your mouth and go,
You want to say?
can you...
Well, yeah, will
Will
it
it
shoot
come
out?
out?
I always
will.
wondered that.
Yeah,
I
I
always
always
wondered
wondered
that.
I used to do it to my teacher because she used to piss me off.
That's funny.
She'd turn around. Remember how your hand accidentally?
Yeah.
Well, mine didn't. I used to turn around and she'd have a big ass wet spot on the back of her ass.
Yeah, because it's very tiny. You can't really feel it.
Yeah, no, there would just be like I could have wrote my name on her ass if I wanted to.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah,
I
but
used
then
to-
you start gauging it, and it's like,
Yeah, right?
ah.
It's just
Have
spraying
you
everywhere
seen
like a
some of
hose.
those ones, those are
The
disgusting.
ones where they show the bottom teeth in
They
here.
put that piece of
Oh, that thing in
glass-
Poland
Where they put
That's,
the glass. Yeah.
or
Is it
Portland,
Poland?
Oregon.
Portland,
Yeah.
Oregon, yeah.
They're putting how
Poland.
people get plugs in their ears. they're getting plugs that are clear in their labret piercings right underneath your lip.
What does that do?
It just lets you see.
It's a gap where you
through
get to see, and it
Yeah, you
actually
can see-
magnifies
You can see
your
the
nasty
bottom
ass
gums
teeth.
and your teeth.
I got
Why the fuck would you want
shitty.
that?
Yeah, I got
Why-
shitty looking teeth. I
why
don't want
would you-
anybody to see them any more than
Why
you
would
already
you
got
want
them.
that?
Because they're nuts.
That's
It's
That's
just
what I
one
said
more
when I
thing
saw
to
one
make
the
you go,
first time.
"Bah."
Why would you want
that's
something
the
like that?
style. I don't.
Well, the thing is, people
I
don't
don't know.
get with those too is if you're not careful, you can rip the skin and it'll never go back. Like I've gauged my ears
Yeah, because
before.
it's healed. That's it.
Well, you can do them in certain ways, but yeah, if you go too big, you've stretched the skin too far,
That's what
and
she
it
said.
won't snap back. It's like melting plastic. If you melt plastic and pull it, you can't melt that shit back. I mean, you can into a ball, but you're not going
Your
to be able to form
ears,
it
you
back.
can do. You just use preparation H on them. Seriously.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Put preparation H and they'll go back. It's a lot of preparation. You just take a little on your fingers, rub it on your earlobes, wherever you're gauged, and
I want to gauge my ear, so if preparation H helps close it, I wonder if anal-ease will help get it in.
probably.
Sweet.
When you took out your tongue ring, did your tongue form a bubble on the bottom?
Mine's still open.
Yeah.
All my piercings, other than I have my bottom belly button. I have 2 on my belly button, and the bottom one, for some reason, closed like a
Really?
week after.
Yeah. I had that same kid that asked me to learn how to fight. That kid Chad Fauché.
Oh,
He
shit.
asked me. Yeah, he asked me. To teach him how to fight. I told you guys that story. He went and he got his tongue pierced, and I was just a nasty little fucker. So I peed in his Listerine.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh,
That's
it
fucked
burns and it's oh.
How would you know?
Well, Listerine burns, and then it would be salty and nasty. I'm assuming because isn't pee salty?
I don't know.
I've
never
well,
drank
I've seen Survivor shows, and they say it's salty.
Yeah.
Tell me, Yvonne,
Yeah.
is it salty?
I don't know.
I saw that on Survivor.
I did. They did. He did. The one dude
Must be
did.
true.
I saw that on Bear Grylls.
No, Dual Survival is where I saw it.
Yeah, you can actually. I mean, it's gross. I mean, it's not sterile. I had a girl tell me one time, "Oh, a doctor told me that piss is sterile.
Ugh.
Can't be sterile. It's all the waste coming out of your
It
body."
is poison. It's
It's waste.
poison. If you drink it, you're drinking poison.
Yeah. But if you ain't got none, I'm sorry. I'm gonna drink my poison piss.
Is it like ammonia?
But it really is like the one guy on Dual Survival.
I mean, if you're
was saying.
dehydrated, yeah, it's
Yeah,
ammonia.
it's more of a psychological thing. Really, it doesn't hydrate you. It's the matter of being able to go.
Yep.
Rinsing out your
I
mouth.
drink my piss.
Yep. Basically, yeah.
I can officially say I've drank my pee now.
Right. Yep. Yeah. You be in that
I'm
survival
still dying.
situation and go, I drank my pee, and then it echoes, echo.
My pee, my pee, my pee.
These,
Now Tony's gonna hear that about 30 times in his ear.
No, not because you're not going to repeat it.
these,
Well.
these survival shows.
I could if you want me to.
These survival shows are getting out of hand, though. They're coming out with too many. Now it's live off the land, shows that are
Yeah.
popping up left
Naked
and
and
right.
Afraid was funny the other day. You guys were watching it?
No.
Were you? No.
No.
Naked and Afraid, I love
We
that
were
one.
watching
Seth
it- we were
Rogen.
watching it yesterday.
Yeah, it was with Seth Rogen and Frank.
I saw a
Franco.
commercial or something.
So
on
they
the
actually
internet
use
for it, but
stars
I
this
never-
time?
Yeah.
Is that the show where they throw people out naked?
Yeah, but they were doing it as a gag. And
Oh.
they said that they were
They
out
did
there for
it-
21
yeah,
days.
they
They were
were
out there for 12
Probably
hours.
5 hours,
Yeah.
6 hours.
Maybe.
They were in some park out east,
Yeah,
Long
on
Island.
Long
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Right down the road
no more than an hour's walk, no matter what
This is a
direction you go
wild
from
squirrel.
civilization. Yeah,
Look at the vicious bunny rabbit.
Yeah, as the day progresses, they just spread more mud on themselves to make it look like they were out there. The best was the night vision.
Yes.
They just turned on the green tinge to the camera. Like
Yeah.
I could do it. I could just put on the chroma key
Yeah.
and green everything out. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
night vision. You know what I'm saying? That's
And
all they did.
And everything's still lit up perfectly.
Yeah.
You can see them, detailed, not night vision, but you could see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just
You
regular
know?
camera, but
No
green.
shadows.
I did some night vision camera with my little video camera.
Yeah.
It came out like you could see everything was like glowing.
Yeah. The security cameras are night vision outside, but I mean
Yeah.
it's a different look than what they were doing, and you have to see it. We didn't delete it. I'll show it to you. You'll look at it and be like, seriously? They couldn't at least do some real night vision? You know what I'm saying? Could have went out there for an hour one night
They
and
weren't
filmed,
gonna- they weren't gonna do
20
that.
nights of fucking,
They weren't gonna do that.
no, hell no, dude. They Discovery Channel probably asked them to come out there and do that. They're like, give us $5,000 and we'll split that and let's
For a
make
20
this
minute-
fucking
20
yeah.
minute
Let's make
segment.
this quick, guys.
Yeah.
But it was I don't know. It was all right. I like watching the highlights better of the shows.
It was more of a comedy.
You never
thing.
seen Naked and Afraid? You never watched
Yeah.
that show? Oh, okay. All right.
They just throw them out naked and.
Wouldn't
Isn't
do
it
it.
normally a man and a woman together?
It is, yes. Yes.
Adam and Eve
Yep.
out in the wilderness.
I wouldn't do it. Would you do it?
Do what? The Naked and Afraid?
The challenge for 21 days to be stuck out in the woods naked and afraid.
I wouldn't be afraid of nothing, but
With-
Oh, if
Probably
you were in Africa,
Look,
you'd
ready?
be afraid.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
yes.
lions.
If you were in Africa, you'd
Did
be
they
afraid.
dump you in
If
the
you were in
middle?
the Amazon, you'd be afraid.
Bolivia, Colombia. It's not just, the woods out back, bro.
It ain't Timon and Pumbaa.
Borneo.
Yeah.
They're not saying Hakuna
Yeah.
Matata.
Yeah. You're sleeping with poisonous fucking
Frogs.
bugs. Yeah. Crawling around. Spiders that just come down and bite you, and you don't even know you
we
got
have
bit.
that here.
Yeah, but these are ones that you won't even wake up. No, we don't really have those here. Oh, speaking of spiders, here.
Yes, we do.
Last night, I like that show. What the hell is it? See, I can't remember the name of the show. Monsters Inside Me. Maria won't even watch it. I've had it a few times on. You've got up and walked away. When we did
Is that
sit
where
out
they
there
get like the
exactly.
weird shit
Yeah,
inside?
the
Oh
parasites.
no!
That's not me. No, I just didn't want to watch it.
Yeah,
I couldn't sit on
I like
toilet
that.
seats in public for a long time because I was afraid of that.
Well, lady got bit by a spider
And
on her
I
boob.
still don't.
Yeah, I don't
by
either,
a brown
but,
recluse.
Right.
We
That was
have
the
brown
excuse.
brown
Yes, we do.
recluse down here,
Yes, we do.
and her boobs started going gangrenous. They had to remove her boobs because of the spider bite. Because she woke up one morning and had that yellow pus. You ever get sunburned real bad and your head's all crusty from the yellow pus that comes out of the sunburn? Well, you got a bald head. That's why I say my head. But
I would know.
she had that leakage, and it got worse and worse. And then she started smelling as it comes out the rotten flesh smell. So she finally went to the doctor, and they took,
Wouldn't you see your titties swelling up in the first place? Wouldn't that be a sign?
It was
to
a black
go?
woman with ginormous boobies to begin with, so she didn't really notice.
no
nothing. She was
swelling.
just in a lot of pain. She was weak. She knew something was wrong, but it progressed so fast that the one day that she woke up, it was just she was soaked.
I don't even
soaked.
have no titties. That makes my titty hurt.
Yeah, it was like wow. And Michelle got bit in the leg by a brown recluse a while ago.
I was out in Alabama.
Really?
I can't say it was a brown recluse. I was bit in the leg by something, and when I went over to the thing, it started to swell up. Well, I didn't know that you shouldn't pop it. I'm thinking like a pimple.
You think it's like
whatever
an
it
ingrown
is,
hair
get
or
it the
something
hell
like
out
that.
of there.
Yeah.
So I actually popped it, and whoever it was like, "Hey, that was as poisonous as a spider. You actually probably did the best thing you could have done." And I had a black spot on my leg for about 2 months.
Did it
Oh
hurt?
shit.
Oh hell yeah!
Michelle, same thing. She had a black spot about the size of a quarter on the inside of her thigh where it bit her. You could see 2 white dots.
Yep.
And then the black spot just got bigger and bigger, got to about a quarter. She couldn't touch it. It hurt. It finally went away. I think the doctor gave her some kind of medicine for it or something like that.
Yeah, mine got to a
I
quarter,
know a
but I
guy
saw
got-
that
he
little
got bit
black
2
head and
times
freaked
in a
out.
row.
With a brown recluse?
Yeah, he went to the hospital or whatever the first time.
Right.
They gave him medicine, whatever,
Sure.
whatever. And a couple days later, he got bit again.
Oh, jeez. That sucks. It's kind of why I'm so afraid of fucking spiders.
Finally, he moved from the house. It was right
Yeah.
down by the river.
You guys ever heard of a camel spider?
The big one in Saudi Arabia.
In the
Yeah.
deserts, what they do,
Yeah, 18-inch leg span.
they actually attach to the bottom of a camel's stomach, and the poison that they secrete through their little fucking
Nah.
their little nas. I don't want to sound like an idiot and call it the wrong thing.
The fangs.
Yeah, they're fang. There you go. I told you.
The
Long
nah.
neck.
I like that better, though.
What
I
the
posted a
poison?
story on the page, so whenever it's just slow to come up here.
Is
so,
it?
Yeah.
Maria's like, yeah,
When
whenever
you
it
have
gets
time.
up there.
It'll get out.
When it gets up there.
We're here for
Unfortunately,
2
Maria's
hours, yeah.
Maria's little thingamy. What would you call that? A pad or a laptop? Because
Yeah, it's
you know,
both.
Yeah,
Her pad top.
her pad top.
There you go.
Her
It,
pate.
it crashed, and I don't get it. I just don't understand. One day it's working on the internet, next day it ain't working. But I'm looking at that post, and go ahead, Maria, because this was something that I had said something.
Oh, that's why. That's
You
why
want
I
me to
said
read about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's going to take me 2 hours for it to open.
Okay, now I get what you were saying.
She's like, I'll just be your
yeah,
alert.
the show
It'll
will
take
be
it all
over.
the way till break time.
You guys will be talking on the phone with
Drag it
Derek,
out,
and
we
I'll
got
go, "Hey, I
10
got that story."
You want to hear it now?
It's that bad? I actually have audio from this. It's,
Okay.
yeah. And the headline is pretty wicked, and I'll just read it. It's oldest time capsule in U.S. unearthed at Massachusetts State House. Now, apparently, it was placed there by Paul Revere,
Wow.
and Sam Adams Sr.
Yeah. I wonder if there beer recipes in there.
Carefully removed.
Right.
A time capsule
Yeah, right.
was
Here, I'm going to
originally
restart
buried
it so we
beneath
get it
the
from the
cornerstone in
Did you say recipe?
The beer recipe.
Beer recipe.
Same
Oh,
as
The
Sam
cornerstone
Adams.
of the State House was
How much
this
hops
morning
do you
carefully
use?
removed. A time capsule was originally buried beneath the cornerstone in 1795 when Sam Adams was governor. The time capsule was repackaged in 1855 when the original cowhide container had deteriorated. The Museum of Fine Arts will reveal the artifacts once the capsule is opened.
We have a list going back to the original 1795. We have coins, we have Paul Revere plate, we have a number of things. The question is, what condition are they in? Obviously, in 1855, when Governor Gardner presided over this ceremony, they were still there, but that's a long time ago.
The cornerstone was discovered as part of work to fix a water leak at the State House. Secretary of State William Galvin held up a piece of plaster that was around the historic box. The good condition of the plaster is encouraging, but everyone is waiting to know how the time capsule contents held up over time.
We know that in 1855, when it was restored there, was a very humid day. We also have some notes that indicate they washed some of the contents in acid, which is, of course, a concern. So we don't know how much has deteriorated over the period of time that's elapsed since that time.
That's fucking
That's
awesome.
bad.
That's amazing.
That's
Right?
fucking awesome.
I want that job.
Hopefully it's not all
bad.
deteriorated in there with that acid.
That
Yeah.
is
Even just finding the
badass.
capsule, that's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
That is really cool. Hell yeah. I would love to be there to see what
I
we
wish
did.
I was the
What
owner
if
of
there's
that
a bag
state.
of weed in there?
Imagine some 18. Imagine. Oh my God. They opened it up and it was like the Strand's called Sam Revere. You know what I'm
Find a
saying?
bunch of hemp rope in there.
Sam grew some, Paul grew some. They both grew some, called it Sam Revere. That would be fucking cool as hell, though. I mean,
All right.
They'd never tell
100-year-old.
anyone.
No, hell no. They'd be like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Put that shit in your pocket,
Yeah.
yo.
Media blackout. Yeah, right. Smoke that later.
Yeah, because they haven't told you what any of the contents were. They're opening it in,
Yeah.
Joey,
some
Joey, look what I found. What is it? It's a bag of weed. We'll smoke it later. Put it away. Don't tell no one. Okay.
You didn't see it. You didn't
Yeah,
see
right.
shit.
What bag of weed?
We
There
all
wasn't no
heard
bag.
you.
Wasn't no bag of weed in there. What you talking about, Willis? We're about 9 minutes away from our guest, Derek Cross, calling in and talking to us about some Paul Revere hemp. No, I mean, hemp call it. Now I got one track mind. Some Sam. No, it was Sam Revere. That's what it was.
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck up. Go to.
Sam Adams,
I'm gonna-
Paul Revere.
Yeah, I know, but it's the name of the strand of
Strand.
weed that they buried. You know what I mean? It's Paul. Yeah.
Pay
Yeah, oh
attention.
yeah, slicked right over that bald spot right,
Right
there.
over.
We need more
was
coffee
like
before the call.
Air,
comes.
yeah,
spaceship
that's
on
a
the
good idea.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah,
break.
before the
Okay,
call.
sounds like a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
idea.
Usually we
got,
break
like, make sure the
at eight.
phone lines are hooked
It's
up
up.
and working.
Yep. Okay, so watch how quick we do this.
You're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-476-8044 and get 2 bottles free. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-476-8044. That's 800-476-8044.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on water washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-509-1453. That's 1-800-509-1453. Again, 1-800-509-1453. Call now.
Are you worried about losing your home to foreclosure? If you've been threatened with foreclosure or receive legal papers from your bank, you have approximately 30 days to respond. If you do not respond, you could lose your home. You have rights. Act now to protect your rights. You can stay in your home. Many times you can even modify your loan. The bottom line is you can get past this, but you must act right now. If you've been served by your bank and you're worried about losing your home to foreclosure, now is the time to fight back and save your home. Time is limited, so call the professionals at National Foreclosure Defense right now.
800-932-4102. 800-932-4102. 800-932-4102. 800-932-4102. That number again is 800-932-4102.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom150.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom150.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom150.com. Go to freedom150.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom150.com.
Burger King man, Rebecca speaking.
Hello, Rebecca. How are you today?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
I'm doing excellent. Listen, I got a little request I need to make for you. I want to put in an order, and I want to come and pick it up. Is that okay?
Was it end of July, or was it the beginning of August? Do you remember when you called it in?
I'm calling in right now.
Oh, you're calling it right now. So this is going to be a big order?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me get a paper and pencil.
Thank
so what
you.
are we getting?
I'm sorry?
What are we getting?
Just want a Big Mac.
Big Mac. You mean the Big King?
No, a Big Mac.
Big Mac is McDonald's.
Well, it's right next door. You can't go get it for me?
No, sir.
Well, come on. That's not fair.
I could do the Big King. That's about it.
Well, I don't like the Big King. I like the Big Mac, but I hate McDonald's. Does that...
Okay. The Big King's almost close to a Big Mac.
I bet you my Big Mac's bigger than yours.
Okay.
Were you going to take my order or what?
If it's a Big King, I can.
All right, let me have a Big King then.
When are you going to be coming in and pick it up?
July.
In July next year?
Certainly.
Okay.
Why not?
Fine with me.
Better late than never, no?
Yep.
Listen, you sound sexy. You want to go out on a date?
I'm married.
Oh, take him along. He could drive.
That's okay.
No? Are you sure?
Anything else I can do for you?
Well, I want 2 Big Macs now.
Okay. Anything else?
Making me hungry. And a
Okay.
chocolate shake.
Small, medium, or large?
Extra large.
Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Coming in July?
In July. You think you can deliver that?
Unfortunately, we're not in the area to deliver.
Why not? I'm right around the block. I tell you what. You meet me in the parking lot, sweetheart. I'll take you out to dinner and show you a good time.
That's okay, and I have to be here watching my crew.
Yeah, they don't care. Trust me.
Okay.
I'm serious. I'll take you out. We'll have a nice candlelit dinner. Maybe a little whining, some dining, some 69, and you never know. I mean, things could happen. You might leave your husband for me.
Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am. I just, was trying to get a Big Mac and a date, but you don't seem to be receptive to my charm.
That's because I'm married and I got a store to run.
Okay, but are you married or are you happily married? There's a difference.
Happily married.
Well, there's a big difference, I got to tell you.
Happily married.
Are you sure? Anybody else there?
very
Anybody
sure.
else there that's not married?
I'm very, very, very sure.
Does he share? I mean, I share. I got no problems with it.
I'm sure he will.
You think so?
I know he will.
Why? I don't get it.
Okay. So is there anything else?
Well, no, just my 2 Big Macs, my large fries, and a couple of shakes, and I'm on my way to come get it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be looking. I'm gonna be looking for you. I'm gonna be
Okay.
looking for you, and I'm gonna get you to go out on that date with me because you sound sexy.
All right. Is there anything else?
Well, you just got to tell me yes. You're gonna go out on a date with me, and I'll come get you.
Well, that sounds really nice.
Well, are you her husband?
Yeah.
You are? Listen, you drive. Listen, I'll be nice.
I'll drive.
You drive,
All right,
I'll be nice.
20 minutes.
15? Hello? Son of a bitch hung up on me. God damn, it's so hard to get a date in this town.
Hey, welcome back to Talk Shit Radio. We're a few seconds away. I caught one pussy trying to sneak in here.
Caught a pussy?
Caught a pussy
I
trying
caught
to
a
sneak
beaver.
in there.
Caught a beaver.
You caught a beaver once?
Caught a beaver?
I caught a little white pussy trying to sneak in the studio there.
Are we
Cotton
calling or
balls.
is he calling?
He's calling. I do believe they're on the road with his partner, so it's just a matter of time. Benny Hill's now that would be a good skit. But hey, look at that.
We have an incoming call.
We have our incoming call. That's
perfect
Derek
timing.
Cross on the line. So let's go ahead and say good morning. Derek, how are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, Lou. I'm doing terrific. And yourself?
We're doing excellent here. You're live with Talk Shit Radio. I'd like to welcome you to the show, everyone. We have Derek Cross on the line, our hemp farmer. And Derek, let me just start off by welcoming you again and thanking you for taking the time. You're out in Texas, right?
Yes, I live in Texas.
Right. Okay. So you have, about a 2-hour time difference from us right now, no?
1 hour.
So you're okay. So you're not that far into Texas to where it's changed the time zones, because I know Texas pretty big.
I'm in Central Time Zone in Dallas.
Gotcha. Well, again, thank you for taking the time to call us up so early in the morning and talking about what you do, because here at Talk Shit Radio, we are huge advocates of cannabis, the use of medical cannabis, the use of whole plant, the use of hemp. So I mean, your type of profession is your industry is extremely interesting to me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're pro-cannabis. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. My wife, she's a patient, not a criminal. I'm a care provider and not a criminal. Here in Florida, we are fighting the big fight.
Yeah, I've been aware of. I keep track on what takes place throughout the United States and around the world, and I saw you guys just lost by a 2% margin there.
What a joke, right?
Yeah. Was that not the most ridiculous?
Yeah, and I know I don't want to go around kicking skunks and things of that nature, but I just want
anywhere
to say
else, 51% would be majority.
Yep,
that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. And Oregon had this last session up there, and Paul Stanford up in Oregon, the big hemp advocate, big cannabis advocate, does a lot for people and patients.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Stanford is one of them out there leading the way up in that Oregon, and now look at where they got it. Now Oregon's legal, and he never gives up. He's been an advocate for over 20 years, and he's put a lot of time and effort into this for his state up there, and Florida just don't give up. That's all I can say.
No.
You'll get it next time.
Yeah, no,
Right?
we won't give up. We're not going for medical now. We're going full legalization. Screw it. We want the whole shebang now.
I think the whole country's going that way. It's just baby steps, and
Certainly.
And I'm in just for clarification. I'm an industrial hemp farmer, and our farm is in Colorado.
Okay.
I'm not. It's not legal here in Texas yet.
It is
on
not.
any
Okay.
level.
Yep, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. So let's talk about hemp for as long as you can.
Okay. Well,
we can talk about it all day.
Yeah.
I probably could.
Well, that works for me.
However, I have only so much time. So,
No sweat.
Okay. What other questions do you have?
I want to know, okay, first of all, what are the 3 primary uses right now in the country we live in for hemp?
Well, there's several uses, but I'll just briefly summarize. Hemp, by every measure, makes more fuel, fiber, food, and medicine than any other plant. An acre of hemp on an annual basis produces up to 300 gallons of seed oil, pressed seed oil, for fuel, plastics, and food.
Yep.
3 tons of high-protein hemp seed meal, 10 tons of bast fiber for canvas, rope, lace, linens, and 25 tons of hurd, which is the woody core, the inner part of the plant, and I'll help break that down to you, for paper and building materials. And the leaves can be created for biomass, ethanol, or fuel. So with that being said, let's break it down into the plant. Now, there's the industrial hemp plant, and then there's the medicinal cannabis plant. So I want to...
And they're completely different, correct? But they're the same family, right?
They're cousins plants, right? They produce different... There's different output, like sweet corn and field corn. They're corn, but you get 2 different results from them.
Gotcha.
So
You're not going to classify them as the same thing.
Plant,
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
She says you can't classify them as the same thing.
They're being
Correct.
grown for specific.
Right.
for specific
It's
products.
like a Doberman Pinscher and a Dachshund.
Sure.
They're similar, but they're not the same.
Gotcha. Yep.
So just for clarification, you cannot get high off of industrial hemp.
From what I hear, you can get one hell of a headache.
You can. I guess you can get a headache from smoking a lot of things.
Yeah,
that you're not
true
supposed
enough.
Yeah, smoke some plastic. Tell me how you feel.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Even if it's
I would
made
love
with
to
hemp.
Touch that here in
Right.
a minute too. So there's now with what's going on throughout the country. I want to make a little clarification between the 2 plants that are similar. And right now, there's been, and maybe your listeners are aware, and I'm sure Florida has had it, and around the country, there's 3 different types of oil that can be produced from this. And just for clarification, the industrial hemp plant produces hemp seed oil, so that first off, that is separate. It's called cold-pressed hemp seed oil. That's the stuff that I use in cooking.
Yep.
I use it on our skin, and that oil, anything made from that oil, anything, plastics can be used for this. This oil can be used into a fuel. So It can basically be put without any real process to it. You can run it basically into a diesel engine. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Straight,
done
too.
the
You don't have
thing,
to process it at all, like you
last
said.
year,
Yep.
I've done it. Well, if you look for some of the pictures I sent, I have a shot glass with they have pressed seed oil
Yes.
and a wick in there, and I have the lid. That's fuel for America, safe enough to drink. So,
See, and I know a
when
little
you
something
talk
about biofuels. I did a lot of studies on biodiesel because I wanted to get into the biodiesel industry. So I found out how good that the hemp oil was for the biodiesel.
oh, it's a cleaner burning fuel.
Mhm.
I mean, there's additives that can be used. You can use there's additives created to use hemp seed oil into the diesel engines that actually some of the truckers swear by it. Their stacks aren't even left black anymore, and they're getting better fuel economy.
Yeah.
You know, so those are things that this plant can help with. Now, a lot of people would like to say, well, you know how much hemp you need to make our fuel oil out of that? Well, if we don't start now, when do we start?
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Now,
I
the
look
question
at,
I'm curious is...
my dad always told me, you know, Derek, you got to look in the future. You got to look at the 5-year plan. Well, I do that in regular business and life, but I'm looking at where the United States is currently. We're the only industrialized nation that doesn't farm this on a grand scale.
Yep.
But I look at what we're doing with deforestation. I look at where we're going to be in 5,000 years, right? This plant has been around for over 10,000 years. It's one of the oldest cultivated crops known to man, and it's one of the strongest fibers known to man. So they knew, you know, before we had all this modern day technology, the strength and the value that this plant brings. And that's what I'd like to really stress to your listeners is the value and how vital this is. Our forefathers knew it. Other countries know it. And I'm in communications with farmers around the world, you know, and I take this business really serious. And I get out there and I appreciate this opportunity to let your listeners know that, you know, there's an education process to that. And this is the first step. Is
Well,
educating
you're welcome
America,
on the show anytime
letting-
to talk about this. Anytime. That's for sure.
letting people know the importance when there's so many different uses. There's over 25,000 different uses. And back, the Sherman-Williams actually used this pressed hemp seed oil into their oil-based paints.
Really?
Back in oh, yes, sir. And so, I mean, that's one of the oils. So there's hemp pressed seed oil, and then there's CBD oil, and then there's medicinal cannabis oil. So now the difference between all three are the way the hemp seed oil is pressed from the seed alone, and then the CBD oil is made from the whole plant extraction process, and same with the medicinal cannabis oil. And these oils have been known to reduce tumors and have anti-cancer properties, and just by even using hemp seed or hemp seed oil or hemp protein powder in your diet can help with your immune disorders.
Hemp
It
protein
help both.
powder.
Yes, hemp protein powder, and the way you do that is so after you press the seed, you get the oil extracted by a cold press method, and then the seed cake residue that's left, the remainder of that, gets ground and processed into the hemp protein powder or flour.
So instead of it being a
And-
byproduct in normal processing, it's actually a usable product.
Correct.
Right.
So that's the other thing. The whole plant is completely usable from the very tip of the flower all the way down to the root. And then I think I sent you a picture of a root ball that we pulled out.
I seen that.
And that's just one. And the diameter of that plant was about 3 inches around, or
Wow.
4 inches maybe. And so, and that that actual plant with that root ball, that early in the year there was hail damage done, which broke some of our plants.
Ooh.
And this is how strong and hardy this plant is. It survived hail damage and still grew to a diameter of 3 to 4 inches around and produced that root.
Really?
And And industrial hemp is also what's called a phytoremediator. It cleans the soils, cleans the air.
We were talking about that
water.
this morning. They planted, and maybe you could tell us a little more about that when as it comes up. The use of the hemp plant at the Chernobyl site.
That's correct. They used it around Chernobyl to do the toxic lands cleanup, and that's what it'll do. This plant just draws those chemicals, and it cleans the soils by extracting all those heavy metals out of the soil. So just from a farmer's perspective and what it can do to your soils, you can go and have your soils tested before you plant this crop. Now, mind you, this is a crop that uses less water and no pesticides. So it's a completely organic process too. So by that, you're not putting pesticides back onto your fertile soil.
So you're not contaminating anything more.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
and so
now, let me ask you about
if you were
that.
going to use this crop as a food crop, you want to make sure that you get your soils tested before and after, and then you want to look at your plant matter to make sure, because there's ways of testing, different testing methods to check for the heavy metals, and you would not want to use that crop for manufacturing any CBD oil or any food product. You would want to use that maybe for the biofuel industry. So if you're a new farmer wanting to get into the business, you want to look at those things. You want to look at, is my land organic, and what will this plant do? So you might want to start out small before you go and think
Do
you're
your
going to grow
research.
1,000 acres for food. Canada has been, our friends up in Canada have been leading the way since 1996, I believe. So
As hemp providers or hemp growers?
Most of
Wow.
Canada provides most of the food that comes out of Canada, and in Europe and over in Asia are more fiber crops. So Canada is more of a food crop there, with the seed and the oil. And my good friend Marianne from Hemptopia up in Canada, if you guys are looking to get your hands on some hemp seed and hemp oil, she'll send it down. So go to hemptopia.ca and order.
Yeah, but also listeners,
So-
keep in mind, getting that sent to you in a state where it's not legal.
Will
you just
get you
gotta watch
flagged.
that. Yeah.
Hemp seed and oil can be purchased in all 50 states.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to
yes,
ask
sir.
you that. How does that
It's
work
not,
here in
it's
Florida?
not the hemp that's illegal. It's the cannabis.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah,
sell
well,
hemp
yeah.
necklaces here. They sell
Yeah,
hemp
that's true.
ropes and
Yeah.
bracelets.
Now, speaking of hemp rope, Derek, Tony had a question about the rope.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. What kind of strength, really? I mean, I know hemp is supposed to be really strong, but I work on a shrimp boat, and we pull trawls on the bottom in salt water. We use a 3/4-inch nylon braided.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
how would
Well,
that work in salt
back-
water?
Back in the day, or early time, hemp rope was used in sailing ships, right? So, actually, cannabis. The word cannabis stems from Latin canvas. So they used it for the sails and cordages on the ships, and it's a long. It doesn't rot. Since hemp rope doesn't rot, it's about 4 times. They say the tensile strength is about 4 times greater than cotton.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And then the other benefit to this fiber is, as one of my goals is to start changing the fiber industry more so here in America. I know I got a lot of friends in the industry that make beautiful clothing from hemp fibers. Okay, they can intertwine it with all different types. So you can intertwine it with organic cottons. You can intertwine it with silk. You can even the Hood Lab makes a bulletproof jacket with Kevlar. So
Wow.
you're talking man-made Kevlar
Yeah.
intertwined with
Even our
hemp,
police
and it's a
officers could be
bulletproof
safe from this
jacket.
stuff.
So
That's wicked. That's pretty cool.
So there's so many different uses and applications that could be done with this, and it's my goal to get it into the hands of everyone here in America. Excuse me for one moment.
So that brings me. That's okay. That brings me to my next question, Derek. What got you into this, and what are your goals? Obviously, we know we want hemp America, obviously. But, I mean, what brought you to start doing this endeavor that you're in?
Okay, good question. My endeavor started quite a few years back ago. I'm an eczema sufferer.
Ah.
I have dry skin, and I used to use all different types of creams and lotions, and I was never getting the results. So I looked non-pharmaceutical method for skin repair or something like that. And then I was like on page 4 or 5. Now you'll probably see it on page 1 or 2. I haven't gone back since to look.
Yeah.
But that was it. And I found hemp oil. And I was like, hemp oil? I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do this. So I went and I saw that. I got it. I started applying it. And I saw the results. I mean, here we are in winter right now. It's not a cure. It's not going to cure it, but it's an aid. So it helps repair the damage within your skin. And let's talk about our skin real quick. It's the largest organ of our body. So we're porous. So what goes on our skin goes in our skin, and we wonder why there's an epidemic in cancers here in America with all the petrochemicals that we induce into our bodies or ingest. This is a healthy, natural oil that's got vitamin D. I mean, I don't even use skincare products that when I go in the sun, I use just straight up hemp oil. But my friends at Hemp 360, they do manufacture an actual sunscreen. And this is got vitamin D in it, which is a natural sunscreen, right?
Based from hemp oil. No shit.
With that being on our skin,
really?
I'm able to put it on there, and I can still, I used it this morning, and I can still snap my fingers. It's an oil, it's different than a baby oil that's all that lube. I mean, I
don't like that
I'll
feeling.
never go back to that because, I mean, I apply just a little bit in the morning, and if I need to at night, I apply a little bit more, and it goes right into our skin. So
and now with the weather, like you were saying, you should have bad flare-ups of the dry, itchy skin, right?
Correct.
Yep,
and it helps with psoriasis and other skin disorders. And I know medicinal cannabis oil extract.
Yep.
A lot of people call it the Rick Simpson's oil.
Yep.
I know, and I've seen testimonies where that grade of oil with the THC in it has actually been. You can look it up, look it online, and see the effects of applicating for skin melanomas.
We have a listener right now. One of our listeners can tell you everything and anything you want to know about Phoenix Tears, Rick Simpson's Phoenix Tears, because he would have been dead a long time ago if not for it.
Yeah, and so with that being said, I'm glad he's still around.
Yep.
And is a walking testimony. So
absolutely.
I mean, we don't live forever, but why can't we just live the healthiest way possible and the most compassionate way possible, right? So this plant has so many, and there's so many that have come before me, and all my friends in this movement have, we've all done sacrifices one way or another for this plant. And my sacrifice comes in where I'm out on the road educating. I'm into schools. I'm into, the colleges, doing the criminal justice departments, the history departments. I'm on these radio shows. I'm out there in the public eye. I thank you for this opportunity, too.
We thank you for taking the time because I like the education myself. I know my listeners are interested.
We need to educate.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Just like Yvonne said, we need to educate as many people as we can. And if I can, educate my listeners through you, it's just another piece of the puzzle.
Well, thanks. And when we were talking about this plant, we look at all the different things that I just mentioned, just in a brief recap, is the seed oil can be used on your skin and in your car. So
Yeah.
you look at it from a fuel perspective, and not to mention it's high in omega-3, 6, and 9, so that's fuel our body needs, and it's a completely digestible protein. And I was eavesdropping on you, Lou.
Yep.
And you were talking about eating meat, right?
Mhm.
Well, this has, by volume, by weight, more protein, almost double the protein than beef, chicken, or eggs.
You answered
You
my
hear that,
question.
muscle man?
Yeah, you answered
you
my
guys in the
question.
gym.
Yep.
This
I
is
wanted
a
to know the
vegan and
nutritional
vegetarian's
value.
Friend.
Yep.
It's an additional source of protein, and it's completely digestible protein. And I get people asking me all the time, well, what about corn? What are we going to do with corn? Well,
Nothing. It's no nutritional
I
value
was up in
whatsoever.
Illinois.
As
I was
popcorn.
up in Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota talking to farmers, and I was showing them their numbers. And because I know that's a good thing. Well, what about like corn and beans? I grow corn just to put in the gas pipe.
Yeah.
But when you want to look at a completely digestible protein, 1 ear of corn is about 3 grams of protein, not digestible.
Right. Yep. And
One
very-
handful of hemp seeds is about 15 grams of completely digestible protein.
Oh, wow.
And this is also a source that helps smooth your bowels, right? So,
Oh, no shit. Well,
want to talk shit? Let's talk shit.
I was
So,
just gonna say, no shit. Well, yeah, shit.
it helps. It helps with smooth bowels. I
So
mean,
then,
when
if I was
people are
to
bound up-
juice a whole plant, just juice it down, put it in with some tomatoes and some other things, and drink it up, that is a very good daily source of my proteins, my fibers, my so on and my so forth.
yes, correct.
I love it.
And that's exactly it. And it you can. So what does this plant do? It reduces the slaughtering of animals. And
Yeah.
I eat meat, just so you know.
Yep.
But it reduces that, and it also reduces deforestation, and it also reduces the pumping of
Fossil fuel.
fossil fuels.
Mm-hmm.
So
now that's what I'm curious to all these people that were saying how long it takes. How long does it take for you to grow the hemp?
Yeah. What is
Well,
the process?
that's a great question. Now, hemp grows, depending on, there's different, now, just so we separate the two plants, we have, it's cannabis sativa. However, we have varieties and cultivars for industrial hemp, and medicinal cannabis is usually strains. You know, what strain do you got? You know, these are cultivars, and there's so many different cultivars. Around the world, there's over 80 different cultivars. In Europe, there's like 40, and in Canada, there's about 30 some approved cultivars by their government, which produces under, in the EU and Canada, they go by a standard of 0.3% THC or less. And so all these products don't contain high levels or, you know, that would get you high. There's absolutely no way that would be possible.
This is strictly
and then
for
as far as a
resources.
food source, you're not going to pop positive unless you consume a mass amount.
What you're saying is only specific strands will get you that THC.
Correct, and that's in the medicinal cannabis.
Correct.
Cannabis sativa.
Right. Totally different than the hemp plant. There's no CBDs, no THC whatsoever, right?
No, that's incorrect.
Oh, really?
The THC is very low level.
Ah.
Very
in
minuscule.
industrial
That's
hemp.
where it comes from. Its sister plant.
0.03% or less, where most of your medical grade is like 1% or 3% to 20-some percent.
Yeah, I was going to
THC.
say.
Okay,
20,
and
yeah,
now there
yeah.
are CBDs in industrial hemp. You can extract that, and that's where the CBD oil comes into play, which is cannabidiol. It's
Yeah.
one of the components of
Which we
cannabis.
speak a lot about here on Talk Shit Radio because, you know, we're with Florida Angels of Mercy, and we do a lot of the canna moms and, you know, all of that stuff. So we speak a lot about the THC and the CBDs and the different than that. But I really want to stay focused on the hemp plant because it's really amazing to me. There's so many uses. And now you got me blown away how I'm ready to get some seeds, start growing it so I can start eating.
Well, here's the seed I'll plant in your head. So everybody wants legal marijuana and recreational or medicinal. Put these seeds into your congressmen or your legislators or your mayors. Put this handful of seed into their head and say, I want to grow jobs. I want to grow homes. I want to grow clothes. I want to grow healthy environment. Let's grow. And here, point them to me. I have several friends within this industry that will help. And if I don't have the answer, I can get it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So maybe we need to switch the fight
I
for
did
a
a
little
radio
bit.
show about 2 years ago up in Wisconsin, and there was actually a congressman there. And I showed him a shirt, and I said, so what do you think about bringing this industry back to Wisconsin? And he looked at me, and I said, this is a hemp shirt. And he smelled it, and I'm like, what are you doing smelling that shirt? I said, these are jobs. This is, Wisconsin was number 2 in hemp behind Kentucky. And at one time, Wisconsin owned 70% of the hemp mills. And hemp left because it was a crop that you took a lot of manpower and labor to process. But now that due to modern technology and machinery, that process is like you grow it and you mow it and you regrow it is what I like to say, because it's almost that simple. You just sow the seeds and grow a future.
So now, with that said, you take it down, you use the root, everything. So obviously you pull the roots out of the ground, you till the ground, and you just throw the seeds down, water them, and let it grow again. No.
Okay, there's you can hand harvest and pull. The whole plant is usable.
Mm-hmm.
However, on large farms, you would do different farming techniques. There's broadcast seeding. You can do it in rows, or however, and then you leave. What the benefit to your land is that for a rotation crop, you can leave after you chop it down with a harvester. You bale that up and bind it up, and you take it to the processing. But you can leave those roots in the ground.
Gotcha.
If you want to make balms and salves, and you're a smaller scale farmer like we are starting, you can pull those roots out, and then you can grind that into powders. You can actually use it in our teas. We own Colorado Hemp Tea. We're one of the first tea companies back here in the United States processing hemp tea. So we use the leaves for that.
I like a spot of tea.
I'm sorry?
I said I like a spot of tea.
You want to spot the tea?
I do. I like a spot of tea.
Crumpets with
Maybe I'll have to get you guys out a care package.
Absolutely. You know what? That would be really, really cool, man. Definitely. Have a good day at work, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I'm at
and
school.
Then you can steep our tea in the morning and get yourself going. And the benefits of our tea is help with weight loss and lower blood sugars and lower cholesterol naturally.
Nice.
And our tea is actually a nice smoky flavor blend. And when you steep it, you're not going to get high off of our tea. And a lot of people question me, well, why are you making it?
It's good
I like
for
to
our
let
bodies.
people know it's a healthier beverage.
Right.
Same reason you drink green tea.
Now, Derek, I'm looking at a map of the United States. It seems like only 28 of the states are total prohibition with cannabis. Now, the other 22, would you say that all of them are cultivators of cannabis? Or is it just the 4, Alaska, Oregon, Washington, Colorado?
No, there are... earlier this year, the Farm Bill included industrial hemp for higher education sources to do research and.
But you have a lot of laws to go past to cultivate.
So for years, actually, there's been a lot of, like North Dakota, a lot of the other states have had it into their books. However, the problem is the separation from a Class 1. So there's states that have it on their books. There's states that with the Farm Bill have covered it. But some of the colleges now that they have the ability is actually being able to get the seeds into the country legally. And so, who we talk with is the USDA, the Department of Agriculture. You got to work with. I know Kentucky, Commissioner Comer, they had a little roundabout with obtaining the seeds. They have like 5 pilot programs there with their colleges, and their seeds actually got held up by the DEA. So they talked with them. They actually were able to get their seeds released, and they had a successful pilot programs here all over Kentucky. And, so we have so many different. So with that being said, Kentucky, Colorado, Washington, Oregon. I know California was trying to push for it.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's little hiccups still here and there. But a big thing is getting the seed in.
Mm-hmm.
So legally.
Yeah. It's always the big thing.
And so, like, little guys like us that start out with what we have, we're able to start seed banks and grow until the borders open up and more of the laws are relaxed. Or it's a food crop. It's a vital food crop, period.
Now, speaking of seeds.
So for that reason alone, there should be no conflict of interest. It should be automatic. I urge the president or any future president to just let's make this happen.
Yeah, hands down.
Don't withhold food from the American people.
Yep. We got President Obama signing these executive orders for all sorts of other bullshit. Why not sign one that's actually going to make his constituents, his people, happy?
I'm not going to argue with anything. I'm not going to speak politics.
Yeah, well, yep.
But I would only agree and urge all the presidents, all the senators, all the congressmen to look back at the history of this plant and look at the value that this plant has. I'll pass money up any given day. I'll take a handful of hemp seeds, and what can I do with that versus the dollar that once was printed with hemp fibers in it? A copy of the drafts of the Declaration of Independence were made with hemp fiber,
Constitution.
And hemp
Yep.
And this paper is actually 4 to 7 times more recyclable. And when you do the processing, you're not using harsh chemicals. So that the dollar is losing its value, but that hemp seeds increases in value. So I'd rather have a handful of hemp seeds than all the gold in Fort Knox.
Yeah, I guess you can make as much money as you want at that point. It's all up to you.
Well, like you said, with a handful of hemp seeds, I mean, the gold's going to run out, but with a handful of hemp seeds, you can make yourself clothes, you can make yourself a house, you can feed yourself.
Sustain living.
We talk about making a house. So the part of the plant on the inside, the woody core, the shiv. So when you break down the plant, in the olden days they used to use a handbrake. So after you would cultivate the crop, you cut it down, you let it dry out, and then you break down the stalk, and you separate the inside from the outside. The outside is the fiber, and the inside is the woody shiv or the core. And that's made into the papers. That's made into the fuels. That's made into.
That's what they use to make the hempcrete.
Plastics. You can use it into what's called a hempcrete.
Yep.
And people, friends of mine, actually a good partner of mine, Kevin Hodge from Hemp Adobe Homes.
Mm-hmm.
They manufacture a home that can be made into up to an R80 insulation value. Wow. What an energy saver that is.
Yeah, you know how much regular insulation it would take to get that?
Well, you know what? That's the other thing that this plant has. Like Canada and France, there's hemp insulation, hemp wool insulation.
Yeah.
And I have it right here. I can send you guys pictures to put up. That insulation you can hold up to your nose and breathe.
Really?
It's not like
So you don't have to worry about asbestos poisoning.
And fiberglass all up in your lungs and sticking in your skin and all of that.
Yeah, fiberglass is a pain to work with.
Now I'm curious. You were saying how strong it is. For the listeners, when it's growing, could you describe the strength? Would it be like bamboo when it's growing, or would it be?
That is, and going back to your question, how fast does this crop grow? It grows for up to anywhere from 90 to 150 days is the growth cycle. So like down in the south regions, you could have 2 crops a year.
Yeah.
I know it grows so fast. That's the other thing. Bamboo grows at an extremely fast rate, and so does industrial hemp. It grows at heights of 17 to 20 feet tall.
Wow.
Depending on the variety, So those are the other things, and people have asked me, well, I want to grow hemp, and I'm like, well, what do you want to grow it for? You need to know what you're passionate about, because there's different cultivars for
Right.
different, there's fiber plants that grow 17 feet tall, 20 feet tall, and then there's lower yielding plants that are more oil plants, for food and seed and so forth. So with that being said, you really want to know what you want to grow it for first, and then there's that process. You want to know, make sure you have healthy soils and your land is,
fertile,
good land.
Now, speaking of soils, okay, let's say you walk into a farm and he's a corn farmer, and we know how evasive corn is to the soil. It drains the nutrients. Just one crop sucks out, 60-80% of the nutrients out of the soil. Let's say you wanted to switch over from corn and then go to hemp. Could you just pull your corn, plant the hemp, call it a day, or do you have to cultivate the soil, fertilize it, feed it, and then plant your hemp?
No, you just go and till it under, and then go prep your land like you would for another crop to come in. You rotate your crops. And that's another thing. This is an excellent crop for rotation. It can stay on the land forever. It replenishes the land with nutrients. So it actually uses the nutrients. Excuse me.
That's okay.
And a lot of farmers that I speak with don't recommend that you use a high level of fertilization. Now, some will say you want to get an initial fertilizer in the beginning stages, and I know I have friends in the compost tea business that can help in that on a large scale to help your soil conditions. But this plant, the reason why that root on that picture is so darn big is because it branches out and gets the nutrients. It seeks out what it needs. So,
gotcha, yeah.
But like you were saying earlier, you wouldn't have to test the soil first after you pulled up that corn?
I'm sorry?
You were saying earlier that, before you plant these kinds of plants, that you should test your soil so you're not getting chemicals.
That kind of gives you an idea of what kind of soil conditions you have, what's in your soils, and going back to the Chernobyl thing. So they grew this plant because it pulls and extracts all those heavy metals out, and so that crop can be, destroyed. But it did its job, and over a couple generations, it'll pull all that out. And I think in Japan they're starting to. They should be starting with what's going on in Fukushima if they haven't already around around the whole area.
Yeah, I posted an article about how many gallons of radiated water a day that they dump into the Pacific Ocean. We got a comment on the chat from a Scott Miller, and he comments he is a microbiologist. And last
Hey,
quarter,
Scotty, how are you?
Hey,
He's
Scott.
a good friend of mine.
Cool. We put
Yeah,
four
go.
kinds of extracted marijuana oil up against pure laboratory grade e-coil. With just crude extraction of the oil, it was as effective as pure grade ampicillin diluted 2 times. Wow, that's
He
interesting.
knows his stuff.
Yeah.
That's heavier than I know. So take his word for it.
Yeah. No, hey, I'm not arguing. I'm just reading.
Layman's terms, please.
Okay, so keep going. This experiment was based on the experiment done by the United States Depth of Health. I also used it to cure my renal clear cell carcinoma. This plant has so many different commercial applications, from medical to commercial products, and all biodegradable, and that is why it's illegal, not because it's a drug.
There are too many industries that the
that
hemp
lose. Yep.
and cannabis plants will affect,
Yeah.
and they do not want that.
Well, big oil, number one, first and foremost. Big oil would
Well,
we
could. I don't like to stress on the past so much as let's go into the future. But yes, I will agree that this crop was in a competition to big industry back in the day, and that was one of the reasons it became. There's so much competition when you're talking paper industry, the cotton industry,
the rope
the oil industry, the pharmaceutical industry.
Mm-hmm.
The men back then were a small mind. It's still today, right? They're the controlling the people in power and control.
Sure.
Well, I urge those people to look at what we're doing and make those changes. Why not? What have you got to lose?
Like propaganda with propaganda.
Yeah.
You got everything to gain.
I was just going to say that. Derek took the words out of my mouth. We have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Absolutely.
Correct.
Yep.
Absolutely. And when you look at people's health and you want to talk about paying taxes, well, if you got a healthy worker in the field, they're going to live a lot longer paying a little bit more taxes. And then the drain on the economy of saying, well, we got to do all this. We got all this money going to Medicare and Medicaid. And we're going to have healthier people. Okay? They're not going to be a drain on society. They're going to be beneficial, healthier. And bottom line is, at the end of the day, let's be compassionate people, right? So, we're not all created equally.
Yep.
We have all different ailments. People are handicapped and you don't see it on the outside, but you don't know that person, has problems.
Certainly.
They look healthy, but
judge a book by its cover.
They're not.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Here today, gone tomorrow. So embrace life, and that's the other thing that this plant has done. For me,
it's brought a lot of people together.
It's unity, right? So we learn about each other. We talk. We reach out over. I'm talking to people around the world in different countries. And not just once in a while. All the time, I'm in contact with people around the world.
Is that a little overwhelming?
My phone bills are astronomical.
Does that get a little overwhelming sometimes? Always, everybody wants to learn from you. Everybody wants input. It's got to kind of. You got to be a really dedicated person to be able to just live your life around that. And that brings me to my next question. What is it like for you being so dedicated to it? What does that leave for your own personal life?
It works.
Gotcha.
We make it work. It was actually last year, and I give credit to the Ryan Laughlin at Laughlin Farms. He was one of the first in America to plant the seed and get America going on a, I think, what was it, 55 acres, I think we planted, Ryan planted last year.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us came from around the United States to help him harvest. And we helped harvest, and we learned from one another. We reached out, and, Jason Love in Colorado, he helped write the bill that got passed. So these are two gentlemen that will go down in history of sparking it up again, right?
That's awesome. Now,
and I'm glad to be a part of that, and I'm glad to do whatever I can to answer people's questions or help point people. And that's the other thing I do. I get people together. So I get these calls. Hey, do you know anybody in plastics? Yeah, talk to this guy. Do you know anybody in fuels? Yeah, talk to this guy. And so, I'm kind of one of them in the center. So, yes, I do get bombarded, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this program right here, after it's aired and circulated, more and more people will be able to reach out. And, I do blogging, and I live a busy life.
I would imagine, yeah. I would imagine. Now, let's say the average Joe like myself wants to become a hemp farmer. What's some things, what's some advice you have?
Well, the first advice I have to say is you have to make sure you live in a state that is acceptable. You got to live by the law of the land. So, like in Colorado and the other states that allow it to have actual a process. So you go to the Department of Agriculture, you get your paperwork and licensing, and everything's legal. You got to take those legal methods. You can't just go and grow. So we live by the law of the land.
Unfortunately.
So, with that being said, you got to make sure you're in a hemp-friendly state.
First and foremost.
First and foremost, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, like I said, you want to know what you want to grow it for. Do you want to grow it for paper? Do you want to grow it for foods?
Yeah, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to grow it. Give me some seeds, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it after that.
And so, like right now with the Farm Bill, it's allowing the higher education, the colleges. So if you're in a state that is allowing hemp farming, then you can work with those colleges in research and development and do pilot programs. You can reach out to the states that it's already in, like Kentucky, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, that it's already growing. You can find us or, you know, the ones that are growing it, and it's a learning curve. It's a process. So, you know, the other thing is I want to make sure that people know that what needs to be in place too as this industry grows is it's got to be your crop has to have the protection. So a farmer that's been farming corn and beans, they have that crop protection. So, and I know that that's being established, but it has to be established on a national level once this comes into full effect. So,
well, you said it, baby steps, I guess, right?
Yeah, and so, you know, it's easy to go out there and throw the seeds out there and grow, but there's steps, and it's a process, and it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
And we'll be hosting events that will get the farmers together. We'll bring farmers in from Europe or Canada and really educate the farmers and get into those deep penetrating soil questions, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you, do you guys plan on doing any educational seminars? But obviously, yeah. Now,
yes, we do.
Any plans of coming down here to the good old boy state?
Florida.
Good old boy state.
Actually, I got friends in Florida that have been leading the way there too, and educating.
Well, they're more than welcome on the show too. So you know, whenever you reach out to them, let them know. Open mic here.
If we can get into Florida and educate. I know there's quite a few of us that are out in circulation doing this education. You know, I've been up in Oklahoma talking to senators there, and we talk about here in Texas. I mean, if Texas, everything's bigger in Texas, right? So
there's your question, Maria.
That's what she said.
Let's grow some big hemp in Texas, I say.
To match your guys' big belt buckles.
Yeah, right? That's funny because before you called in, Maria was going to ask you, is everything big in Texas? So.
Well, when we can grow it here, yes. There's no reason why we shouldn't. So
sure.
You know, I've made a challenge to T. Boone Pickens. You want another fuel source? Choose hemp instead of fracking. Let's plant the seed and let's start reducing the toxic oils and petrochemicals and putting. If we were to just use this hemp seed oil instead of worrying about the fuel, let's start in the small plastics market, right? Mm-hmm. Well, not the small plastics market.
Any plastics. Any plastics.
If we can make biodegradable, non-toxic plastics from this oil, so.
Which I will be willing to assume and bet that most people do not know the base of any plastic is a fossil fuel. Very toxic, very dirty, very nasty substance. Another thing that's very nasty that people put on their face, Vaseline.
No, I don't use that.
Did anybody ever stop to read the thing? It's petroleum jelly.
Yeah,
hence
it's
the
based
name
on
petroleum.
It's based. All that stuff is based on petroleum.
I don't use it on my face.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, go easy there, buddy. That's even worse.
Hey now,
there's some good
skin
products out there. So
yeah,
let's not go there.
Like I said, Hemp 360 has skin products. Hippie Butter Hemp Seed has good skin products. I use hemp soap. I don't even use shampoos any longer.
They smell and
women,
feel amazing.
That may be different. Some women like to have, but all I use is a hemp seed soap, and then afterwards I use straight up hemp oil on my skin. But we can have these non-toxic things made from this plant.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Now, with the cultivation in the United States, do we export internationally or do we keep it in the United States?
Well, Americans imported over the past couple of years over $500 million of hemp seed products and raw materials, right?
Yeah.
So when we grow it here, we'll be able to have that advantage to export.
Okay.
So,
You know, Derek, I got to tell you, this is actually a little more interesting. That the hemp plant is a little more fascinating to me than the cannabis plant. Yeah, okay, there's a lot of medical benefits to the cannabis plant. Yeah, okay, you can smoke it and you get high. But when you tell me, okay, that I can just about replace a source, okay, for everything that I go about my daily usage with just one plant, that makes a light bulb come on in my head. And I guess that's basically what your,
purpose is.
Yeah, is to get that light bulb to come on in everybody's head and realize.
But it's not even about putting light bulbs in
let's
people's
look at it
heads.
for the economy. Let's talk about the economy real quick. The economic value of this plant. Now, we've seen the growth and how many medicinal states there are. Medicinally, there's like 22 states that use cannabis medicinally.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there's now 5 that are using it recreationally. Now let's look at the jobs that's been created. It's been said that there's been over 10,000 jobs alone in Colorado for the medicinal plant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it
Overall, as a nation, I've heard numbers of over 100,000 to 150,000 jobs created in these 22 states.
It was like
Because
$1.9 million in
They are
tax revenue.
decriminalizing cannabis.
Yeah.
They're allowing people to, you can call in California, you can call your dispensary
And have it delivered like
delivered
pizza.
to you.
Yep.
So that just created a job, a delivery service.
I'll just take a large fatty.
Yeah. And for those of you that go out to California, they have services like Waiter on Wheels, Meals on Wheels, where these services, they'll go to this restaurant, pick up your meal, bring it to your house, delivered. And they do the same thing with the cannabis, which all of those shows that you see, you can see
it's
that.
creating jobs all along the way. So we look at medicinal cannabis, and then the money that's been generated, the tax revenues alone.
It's created a whole new industry.
Oh my gosh! Let's talk about what goes on with just
tax
Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the revenue that they didn't have.
$1.9 million in the first week?
It was $1 million in the first. Yeah, it was like $1 million in the first week or so. Yeah,
Tax
or
revenue.
maybe it was the first month. But they
Yeah, I think it might have
generated
been,
millions of dollars this year, and that's going to continue. And here's the thing: they have the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Marijuana. So they have a division. They do make sure people are on the up and up when it comes to medicinal cannabis.
But yet the bank still won't deal with it.
if you're doing something wrong that's not within the law, then you just broke the law.
Yeah.
But there's a when you look at the medicinal cannabis industry, you're looking at the quality. You're looking at what's done. And then now here's the other thing. Medicinal cannabis growers and industrial hemp growers can't have their fields next to each other if it were to escalate to that. So the medicinal cannabis is actually better to be grown in and controlled indoors where, see, if you're a medicinal cannabis farmer and I'm an industrial hemp farmer, we can't have our fields next to each other because my industrial hemp pollen will take and reduce your THC over 2 or 3 generations of that. You're going to be like, dude, my THC, you got to move, you just reduced my THC. Instead of the THC going up, this pollen will reduce it. So, I remember years ago there was a film made by a good friend of mine, the Hempsters Plant the Seed, Diana Oliver. And one of the families in Kentucky was discussing, all the problems with all these people growing pot in the forests and everything. If you were to just broadcast seed industrial hemp in that region, these guys are going to, they're going to get their THC reduced, and then some of their stuff isn't even going to be legit. So
that would suck.
But it's a simple solution.
I've been there. I know what cross-pollination is all about. It sucks.
Yeah, so, when you look at the way the plants can be grown and controlled in an indoor environment and protected, and you see this industry booming in Colorado. You see see this industry booming in Washington. You see it growing up in Canada. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Then let's talk about industrial hemp. It's the multi-trillion-dollar industry. Medicinal cannabis, you can only do so many things.
Yeah, you can only go so far with it. Did we lose you? I think we lost the call.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Yep. We did lose the call. Derek, if you're listening, I'm going to call you back right now. I'm not too sure what happened.
I reached Derek. I'm on the...
Probably trying to get through again.
Yeah.
We'll give him a second.
Yeah, we'll give him 1 second now. Not too sure what happened there.
There we go.
I had a phone call. And I don't know.
Yeah, because everything else is working just fine. Yeah. Except for I'm ringing in both ears.
I reached Derek. I'm unable to get to the phone.
I lost him. Derek, if you are listening to the show, give us a call back. Let's finish up. I don't know what happened. I lost you in mid-sentence there.
Maybe his battery died.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's possible.
He just cut off completely.
Yeah,
like
cut off, and it's going straight to voicemail now, so sounds like a definite cell phone dead battery thing. I hope. Try and call back again. I want to at least say thank you.
Hello?
Derek.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry about that.
I'm not sure. I was just worried it wasn't a dead cell phone or
I
something.
don't know where I lost you, but I'll start over. Medicinal cannabis has a billion-dollar industry creating jobs and health and wellness, and the industrial hemp has the potential for a trillion-dollar industry. So with that being said, there's so many different products that can be made from this material. Whether you're into plastics, you want to make plastic sunglasses, you can use this source, use this resource. That's what this plant is here for. It's renewable, sustainable, and you grow it, mow it, and regrow it. Sow the seed and reap the reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's one of those hands-down, no-brainer decisions that just boggles the mind why the government still is so opposed to this whole industry, both industries. I don't understand why.
It's lining the politicians' pockets.
It's the education that needs to be done, and it's started. I mean, they're allowing colleges to research and develop, but you can only research and develop so much, right? This plant has been around for millennia, and it works so well with us because it's part of our DNA makeup. And when we talk receptors, CB1 receptors, CB2 receptors, it's part of our internal. I mean, you can't change it.
No.
And people won't overdose from medicinal cannabis because it doesn't.
You can't
affect your brainstem. So
yeah.
you may have psychoactive dreams or whatever, but it doesn't shut off your breathing.
Nope.
So the overdoses has been, as far as I know, zero.
Yeah.
More people overdose on peanuts or have peanut
allergy.
Yeah, that's true. More people die from peanut allergy than nobody's ever died. I mean, if anybody's ever died with cannabis in their blood, it's because they were drinking and driving or jumped off a bridge or did something stupid.
Right.
Or had a heart attack.
Right.
That's not being responsible.
Right. Cannabis was not the reason, that's for sure. Unless you took
and here I would like to make this, put this out there. If I have, and being responsible, if I were to have a raw cannabis bud sitting out in the open, and I would have a handful of pharmaceutical pills. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what about the children? Well, what about the children? If my child were to go to that bud and not know how to use it or consume it, but they ate it, the only fear I would have is them choking. Now, if they took that handful of mixed cocktail of pharmaceuticals,
they're dead.
I'm rushing them to the hospital.
Yeah.
To hopefully pump their stomach
I'll
and
get
die.
choked up over that.
Yep.
But I'm not anti-pharmaceutical, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I believe there are certain medications that do help people, okay?
I do too.
But don't when there's over 100 different elements that cannabis is good for, and respectively, if it's controlled and you have some regulations on it and you see results, it's time to wake up and make the right choice.
Yeah. But you feel it should be a choice we're allowed to make, right? As Americans?
As humans.
As human beings, yeah, it doesn't matter what country we live in. Certainly.
Well, of course, yeah.
The government shouldn't be able to tell us what plant we can and can't eat, or can and cannot eat. We're
the only industrialized nation that doesn't grow this on a grand scale.
Which is pathetic.
Especially when one strand of cannabis can do the exact same thing as a Valium or a Xanax for anxiety.
Right. Now let's put it industrial, okay? The military. Let's just talk about the military. If the military switched over to sustainable fuels, okay, and moved away from nuclear reactors, it would make a huge difference. All right. What do they do? What is it? Cheyenne Mountain or whatever the hell the mountain is, where they hide all them or they store all the spent rods. If we stopped using fossil fuels and started burning sustainable oils, then we wouldn't have greenhouse gases. We wouldn't need all these nuclear plants. We wouldn't have all of this shit that's going on in the world. They wouldn't be fracking, to try and find more oil.
So that's the difference. When you're using a fossil fuel, your emissions are carbon dioxide.
Yep.
Well, when you use a natural fuel source like this, biofuels, it's a whole closed loop circle. So what your output and your input are equal. So the plant is sucking in the carbon dioxide, and then like when we use it for building applications and saving the trees, you're now it grows so fast, it consumes so much more carbon than trees actually do.
Yeah.
But if you burn this and make this into a biofuel, now any emissions go out back into a carbon form, and then it's a whole circle. But when you do it with fossil fuels, it's hard. And then you see the deforestation, and you look at, well, I like to breathe air.
Mm-hmm.
Nice clean air, by the way. So if we can omit oxygen from our natural greenhouses, why not, right? And the industrial hemp grows so fast, and like I said, it can produce so much, so much paper, so much oxygen. When you cultivate this crop and use it in the form of concrete or hempcrete and using it as a building material, plywood, you just trapped all that carbon. You just locked it all in, right?
Yep.
So it helps clean our air, our soils, and if you were to grow it, like I haven't seen the real proof, but if you were to use it on the water, it would actually take those, like hydroponically, it could clean the water too. So
I've heard about that, hemp for water.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard about that.
I believe it's Bill Lursiford or one of the elects that we had down here in Florida that belongs to this whole hemp for water thing, to where they're using hemp to clean the water.
Oh, to filter the water?
So, yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. There's got to be a shift. Something's got to be done. People need to be aware. And if it wasn't for people like you, I think we'd still be living in the dark ages. People would have no idea. There's so many advocates out there.
There are.
If people would just take the time and listen and react to their own feelings, never mind, and I said this before, I've said it from the beginning, never mind what I say, never mind what Tony says, what Maria says, what Tim says, what Yvonne says, what Derek says. Go out, do your own homework, read it for yourself, educate yourself, then make your assumption.
Correct. And I have a blog. It's called Hemp Healthy Today. On my blog, you can find all different aspects of medicinal and industrial hemp. So, or you can just Google. You can even just go on Wikipedia and type in hemp and start reading about it and learning about some of the things I mentioned, whether it's cultivars or phytoremediation, and you can look at the history. I agree, Lou. I urge the people to do their own education. Please, you got questions, come to me. I'll help. If you want me to come to one of your sessions, whether it's a big center or you want me to talk to your congressman, or I'll hold your hand the whole process.
Yeah.
Give me a call.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, Derek, you do know that, if you ever come down here in Florida, next time you're in Florida, please give us a call, hit us up. I would love to have you in the studio, get you to get you on the air and talk live with us. It'd be really interesting to meet you in person.
I'd still love to try his tea.
Yeah, enough said. I'm definitely interested in trying some tea now.
Yeah.
And you've educated me more. I mean, I've done a little bit of research. I've listened. I've looked. With this whole pro cannabis thing that we've been involved in down here in Florida.
Right.
But hemp was never one of those things because everybody was so
Right.
focused on cannabis.
Right. And we just did, my partner and I in Colorado, my partner is Grow Hemp Colorado, Colorado Hemp Coffee.
Yeah.
And she is one of the first licensed seed labelers in America.
Nice.
So the women are huge into both medicinal and industrial. I see, and I work with a team of gals who are independent and strong women, and they need to have that recognition. I love my partner in the terms that that's what she brings to the table.
Certainly.
She's one of the first women industrial hemp farmers, and her name is Veronica, and I'm proud to be associated with her. And we put on events. She's hosted events, and we've brought Alex Whiteplume from South Dakota. And one of our missions is to help the Native Americans on their sovereign land to be able to grow on their sovereign land and grow an economy for their own people. And
I believe your parents just chimed in on the show and said, we're Derek's parents, and he's taught us a lot. Jocelyn Cross?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mom. How are you?
That's pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I got great parents. They've been there. I've been educating them along the way, and I know a lot of my friends. They're like, "Oh my gosh, here comes the hemp king."
Yeah, that hemp hippie guy. Yeah, that's all I picture. Oh, here comes that hippie guy. Wanting to get everybody stoned, and that's part of the thing.
No,
yeah, well, see, that's the thing.
That's not it.
That's part of the
assumes.
That's exactly what it is. That's what a lot of people assume. Unfortunately, people say, "Oh, you just want to get high." No, that's not it. I want to save my
That's
wife's
not it.
life. I want to eat right. I want to breathe. It's not about me anymore. I'm 43 years old. All right. It's not about me anymore. It's about my kids, my grandkids, my great-grandkids, my great-great-grandkids, so on and so forth.
But the stereotype is out there about.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly it, and I appreciate my parents' support.
That is awesome. I wish my parents were alive.
And my wife, my children, everybody that behind me, and that what you just said, the children, the grandchildren, and I want healthier planet. I want healthier people, and what's wrong with that, right?
Nothing in it. If
Nothing.
anybody
And
says
then,
anything
as
different,
you were saying about the cannabis plant. Sorry, sir. There's a lot of people within the medicinal cannabis that need to know this, because we did the Denver Expo just last month, and we had the little industrial hemp section, and most of it was the growing, the lights, the culture. And when they migrated to our area, boy, people were educated. They didn't really realize all the potential that this plant has. And so at our booth, we're educating the whole time. And, wherever we go, hosting events, we get that word out. And, I'm proud to be a part of it. And I love the people that are with me in this venture. And every day, I can honestly say every day, I'm educating the minds of people. And if I were to leave tomorrow, I would know I did my job.
right? At least there was somebody out there or a group of people that you educated that now you will go on and educate others, and that is so awesome, man. I really gotta. I'm very thankful for what you're doing, because, like I said, it's all about the education, and it's only going to benefit the next generations. We'll go back to having a clean earth again, clean air. And unfortunately, I know you don't want to talk politics and government. And unfortunately, it's the politicians and the government who are stopping us from living the way we.
Now, I'm gonna only just say they're uneducated, right?
Exactly.
So we're making the changes, and we see that. Look at your voting polls.
Yep.
Look at the people who are coming out and speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people are now not using GMOs. So people are waking up. People are understanding, and that means that the politics are being educated. They're changing. But look at the people. Look at your senators and congressmen that are in this mix now, that are standing up on that stage. They're talking about cannabis. They're talking about the industrial process to hemp. I mean, we're in it for a while. I'm more of an independent, just so you know. We all have to work together. The government's not going anywhere, so we have to work together and merge and unite, on a friendly terms.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not even the government; it's everybody working together.
Yeah, it's a united band.
That's exactly it. That's what it is.
United we stand.
United, correct.
Absolutely, key word.
So, well, anyhow, I don't know if you have other questions.
Derek, we're
here for just a little bit longer, and then I have to get rolling.
No sweat, Derek. I understand you're a busy man. I don't have any more questions for you. Does anybody else have any more questions? I mean,
how often do you make a trip up to Colorado to check out the plantation? I guess you'd say.
well, we're in winter mode up there now.
So the season's
over. Indoor.
Yeah.
We only have indoor right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm up there. That's my office, so I get to go back and forth, and
it's beautiful there.
I wish.
Not as often as you wish. I hear you. We're thinking about taking a little vacation out there here soon. My wife and I want to put the house up for rent and move out there.
Yeah, I almost made
there's so much businesses going on out there. You can go to like a wake and bake if you want for vacation for crying out loud.
Yeah,
they have that, and there's
$1,200
out there that take you all over. And I'm talking from a medicinal standpoint, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, $1,200 you can go on a pot vacation. $1,200 per person, all inclusive.
And guess what? That money just went into the hands of Colorado.
Absolutely.
Schools.
Wouldn't you like people to come to Florida, not just for Disney?
Yeah. Especially with all the controversy surrounding all the parks down here, which we won't even get into. But yeah, absolutely. It'd be a really good change for the state.
Well, it would be good for all the states, and it's coming. We're all working that way, and I see the change happening. And a lot of people didn't think that they'd ever see it become legal or recreational, but look at it. It's happened. It's happening.
It's happening
over the next couple years. Look at where we'll be, and I hope to see hemp in a field near you.
You and me both, like my backyard.
Right.
It's too useful of a plant to deny its benefits to everybody.
You got to look at it. That's the reason why we still haven't made it legal, is because so many people would be put out of business.
To lose.
Yes.
Derek, thank you so much again for your time. You are more than welcome to call us up anytime, anything new, anything you want to get out there. I sent the message over to Scott Miller. I told him he's more than welcome to hit us up. I'd love to have him on the show and talk about what he does as well. And, anytime, man. Even if you just want to say, hey, how you doing? Still out here farming? Later.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I thank you very much. Come look me up at Colorado Hemp Tea, Hemp Healthy Today, Hemp Pharmaceuticals.
Send me all those links if you could. I'm going to get them up on the website.
Yeah, and then there's the Hemp Humanitarian Aid Fund that we're working on, and then we're also coming together as a group, Hemp Solutions. So we have a lot of things in the work, and there's also a lot of investment opportunities for people to look at, not just myself, but other people. If you know a relative that's getting into the hemp business, get that education, do that research, help out your family, help out your relatives and friends, and we can all grow a healthy economy, you know. So.
Key word again is grow. I love it.
And a healthy economy.
Grow, mow, and regrow.
That's right, buddy. That's right. Derek,
Grow,
again,
mow, replenish.
thank you so much. Get me those links so I can get them all up on the website, the Facebook page, everything. I'm going to definitely get a whole nother page built that's dedicated to just pictures that you can send me and links and things of that nature.
Yeah, please do, because if you can do that, I mean, it's not just from me, but others that we've reached can add to, and you know, like my friends, they're out there listening, and they can add to it, and we all work together, and I appreciate every follower and every friend that I have, and they keep me going in this drive, and I've made some really good friends along the way. So look them up also. You can find all my stuff out on my blogs, or just grab a hold of me. I'm here. I'm hands-on.
Absolutely. Derek, again, send me all that information. I want to get it all up on the Facebook page, the web page. And, yeah, it's time to speak out. It's time to speak out. Anybody else that you know that's in the industry with you that has something to say, please don't hesitate to give them my information. I'll get them right on as quick as we get you on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And one of my friends, Dina, was on, and that's how I found you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yep.
Dina Ray.
Yep,
yeah.
Dina Ray, yep.
She was on about a month or two ago.
Absolutely. She's the author, wasn't she? We've had so many people on. Yes. Yep. Why does love hurt so much, right? Or love shouldn't hurt.
That's right.
Yes, I remember. We have her T-shirt. We all have her wristbands all over the place. Yeah, she excellent
Well,
lady.
Thank you, and to everybody out there, have a great holiday season.
You too.
Happy holidays to all.
Happy holidays to you too, sir. And again, thank you for calling into Talk Shit Radio. I know you're a busy man.
Thank you for educating us.
Thank you for taking your time.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime, anytime, give us a call.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. That was Derek Cross. Very interesting. I
Very
learned a lot.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I knew something about the hemp plant. I didn't know shit about it.
I didn't know that they use it for all of the things that they use it for.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about it.
The difference between the hemp and the...
Yeah. It was cool about what you asked him with the rope, and I knew he was going to say something about the ancient ships and
the
stuff.
old sailing and whatever,
Yeah.
but we use it underwater.
Yeah.
So...
But that's even it being above water with the spray of the ocean, on the sails.
You need water and oxygen to create rot and corrosion. Underwater... If it stayed underwater, there's no. That's why. Yeah. So I mean, obviously it doesn't stay underwater, but like for a sunken ship, an old Spanish ship, if you went under, that cordage is all intact.
I see. That's what I mean. I don't know. I've never really.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just. I've seen. I don't know firsthand, but I've seen some of these.
Well, like he was saying, the hemp can actually grow on the water and clean the water.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think that it would break down if it can grow on the water.
But now is that with the salt water?
I wouldn't assume that it would be. I don't think the salt would kill it like that.
I just put it.
Yeah, don't sweat it. I'm going to dump the cameras. We're having a little camera problem, so I'm going to go ahead and dump the cameras, everyone. So for anyone who's there's nobody viewing on there, and anyone that's on Ustream right now, I'm going to dump the cameras off. We're having a little trouble with. So I'm going to drop them out. You could watch and listen to this episode on YouTube. Up until about this point, obviously. Yeah.
And, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we got about 40 minutes left of the show, and I'm just really amazed how that plant works and things about it. It was pretty cool, definitely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
See, he's making tea.
Which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I love drinking tea.
Oh, I bet he's making everything.
Yeah.
He's probably
hell
teas.
yeah. Hell yeah. I want to build a damn hempcrete house now. I swear to God. If I had the money, I would. Everything I owned would be all hemp. But, guys, I got to step out of the studio for about 5 minutes. Just take over for me. All the mics, everything's good. I'll be right back.
We were talking about all the people that would be put out of business because of how many things that hemp
just like the rope. Just like the rope. The whole rope industry with all the nylon and all the other cordage.
Now, what I think is what if they do make it legal. They're afraid of all these other industries being put out of business. That's one of the reasons why. Like saying using it for fuel. You don't think that the GM companies can make
of course,
a
that's
more
why they haven't really
efficient
made
car?
electric cars yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the
you
same
don't think
thing.
you don't think that they can make a car that does 100 miles to the gallon?
What I don't understand.
It's possible. It's just that they don't want it because they're getting their pockets
Exactly.
filled.
But what I don't understand is I can understand still wanting your pocket, still wanting your hand on that money, but why not work with them? You guys talk about making all these, economic cars. Well, why not make an economic car that runs on hemp?
Because they say, diesel biodegradable fuel is sufficient enough, possibly. That's what I would
Not if
say.
our ozone layer is being eaten away the way it is and all these rays are getting through. I mean, skin cancer is getting worse because our ozone layer is depleting. I mean, we're literally killing our Earth with the cars and our smokes and everything that we do, burning things.
I see it as no matter what, it's going to happen either way.
Well, but that's what we're saying with hemp. Certain things we could start to eliminate. Some of those resources that are putting some of that poison out there. We could cut half of them out.
We could cut a lot of them out.
Yeah.
We could cut a lot of them out, but it's still not going to sustain the ecosystem correctly.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, you can't cut out every fossil fuel, or every fossil anything. Oh, we got an incoming call.
Do we? I guess if you click on the button, the incoming call will come through. So, and say hello.
Are we there?
To accept the call, just accept. Oh, you know
Did
what?
you
You
accept?
can't hear it.
Oh, because
Hold on 1 second for us. Tony's going to turn it up.
Hello, is anyone there? You're on Talk
Yeah,
Shit
I'm
Radio.
here.
Yes,
Hey,
we do have
this
a caller.
is Derek calling back.
Oh, hey, Derek, how are you?
Yeah, you're talking about cars. Yeah, cars. There's body parts and panels that are made with the hemp fibers. Lotus, Mercedes, and other companies. I believe Jaguar. They're using hemp fibers into their cars. Henry Ford in 1941 made a plastic car
Into their
basically
car
that was
Instead of
made
fiberglass, fiberglass body.
Sisal, and he sits out there in the dead of winter in Dearborn, Michigan, and hits the trunk with the axe handle and or an axe or a hammer, didn't even dent it. Look up Henry Ford, hemp farmer, and the first Model T was made with hemp fibers.
Wow!
And at one time, Henry Ford was a hemp farmer making biofuels and had it's said to be about 25% stake in the fuel industry. So when you do the research, and yes, our cars can be made from hemp, the exterior panels, the interior panels, and this is a huge industry. So you can literally make and run your car.
And like we were
How about
saying, though, Derek, you can never eliminate fully all the things that we use in the world that's going to kill, our Earth. But we could eliminate a good. What would the percentage would you say would be by just using hemp?
Oh boy, I mean, when you look at on a grand scale and all the brilliant minds that we have in all today's modern technology, if we didn't stop using hemp, where would we be now? So let's get all these brilliant heads and minds. And Ford's dream was to grow a car from the soil and return it back to the soils. So if we stay on a mission like that, the potential. I mean, there's hemp graphene. I mean, superconductors. There's so many different avenues you can take with this, and with the right funding and the right resources, or the sources, the minds,
collaboration.
It's endless. It's endless. Yeah, collaboration. Yes, ma'am.
Old wise man just
it's all
commented that with our founding fathers used to pay their land taxes with hemp. It was landowner civil duty to raise hemp for the community.
Correct. You could pay your taxes in hemp.
Yeah.
If you were a hemp farmer, you had to grow hemp for the strength and wellness of our country, and those are from our forefathers.
Yeah, that was back in 1800s.
Yeah. Good old G.W.
And
Washington.
you look at where we are, and
as far as the government was stressing about that plant then. So.
Now, I had only read this once, but I
Well
don't
said,
like to.
John. Well said.
I don't like to credit things if I don't have more than a couple pieces of information on it. But I had been told that back in the day, when the banks and all that came around, people that were doing ropes, they got into collaboration with the banks, and that's actually why they discontinued hemp back in the day, was because banks and ropes come together, and they said, no, hemp's going to put us out of business.
Well, yeah, probably. It was demonized, and Reefer Madness came out, but the government brought it back for World War II, Hemp for Victory. You can look that up. So there's been extensive research since the early 1900s on hemp and what it can do. And then there's the, it was okay to bring out for the war effort and make the farmers grow hemp again for the cordage, right, on the ships.
Yeah.
So, that with that being said, it's time to take it back off the shelf. Put it.
Imagine the armor we could send over to the...
Daisy, one of our listeners, just made a very interesting comment, Derek, and real quickly, I want your thoughts on what you think about this. The Earth is our host. We are parasites. Take too much from it, and just think what happens when you take too much.
Correct. That's exactly right. And we're all like ants in the colony. We all have jobs to do, and we're all trying to scout out the best ways of life. Absolutely. And you have to leave this earth just like we found it. And I know in the Native Americans, their return back to the earth. And talking to Alex, he says, "You people all want to live that." Like you're a king, and then you go and you're entombed into these metal caskets and cement tombs, and you all want to be king, and we just want to be returned back to the soil. We want to be returned back to earth. In cremation
and keep the life cycle going.
Correct, and so it's sacred. Everything, our water, our food, and when people get sick. They used to poison the wells, and then when you look at that in retrospect, you go, "Wow, yeah." When the water is making you sick, you got to change. You have to have clean water, clean air, and
We
she's
have
right.
to all come together.
Just like a beehive, they all work together. One bee don't work properly, the whole beehive falls down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what we see in dead bees all over the place, and without bees make honey, right? And honey never goes bad. It's been around for
great source of nutrition, great medicinal values. You mix honey and cinnamon. I don't know if anybody knows this, but honey and cinnamon together in certain different mixtures is such an unbelievable cure-all medicinal tool. Look at
I knew honey, but
honey and cinnamon,
I think cinnamon also
together.
But also, bees do so much more than just provide honey. They're pollinating,
right.
keeping basically the life of all of our plants in the United States and the world living.
That's got to affect the hemp farms as well. I mean, the pollination, losing all of these bees, pollinating the hemp plant and everything, doesn't that, it all falls into suit.
It does. The bees love hemp, and so do the hummingbirds and grasshoppers. Birds love the seed. They know when the animals know what they like, that should tell us something. So we have
And I mean, come on, they use harsh chemicals to smoke these bees asleep so they can steal their honey. Why not just smoke them with some weed and they wake up hungry?
Now you could go to the R&D department at your college and say, "Hey, let's try that."
Yeah,
Let's see what the benefits are. Let's see if it's more,
That's a good idea.
wake up hungry, they'll go eat 10 times more flowers than they normally do. We'll have double the honey.
I'm going to find me a Florida State University student.
That was a very random.
I love it.
Well, that and
very
check
Derek.
them out on where the honey that comes from bees around the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should check out Colorado bees.
Enough
I bet
said.
you those bitches are fat.
Right? Derek, now
Like
you know
2-pound
why.
bees just buzzing
now you know
around.
why we call it Talk Shit Radio.
Yeah, that's right. You guys are great. So anyhow, I did want to add that with the cars.
Awesome.
It's being used in that manufacturing process. And other companies, it's not a big retool issue to start incorporating these. So when you take plastics, just plastics alone, all you're doing is melting that down into a mold. So
And
there's
molding it.
really, you're just changing the ingredient, right? You don't have to really retool anything when it comes to the plastic.
No, not at all. No. It's just your mixture.
And we appreciate you clarifying that for us.
So, any other questions, feel free to ask.
Derek, thank you again so much. I appreciate you calling
All
back.
right,
That
kid.
was cool.
I'll be blasting your
Talk to you
Facebook
later.
page later.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye. That was pretty awesome that he called back. I hope I just didn't call him back. Okay.
I didn't know that Henry Ford was one of the innovators of using hemp for body parts.
Old wise man.
Auto body parts.
Yeah, he
and-
made a lot of stuff.
and
Yeah.
That's
It was
amazing.
the engine was made to run on diesel.
Oh yes.
Not unleaded regular petroleum
Yes.
gasoline.
Yes. Gasoline is actually a byproduct of making diesel.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's very
kerosene is a
unclean.
byproduct of making gasoline.
Mhm.
All right. Old wise man had once said, Henry Ford, and correct me if I'm wrong, old wise man, Henry Ford warned us the use of fossil fuels will be detrimental to our way of life and the earth. Back then, Henry Ford warned us of that. You know, him and...
before he even made the Model T.
Right. The diesel engine is named after something diesel. He's a German inventor.
Oh, Rudolph.
He's
Rudolph
a German
Diesel.
inventor, correct?
Yes.
I told you, I did a lot of research on diesel engines, biodiesel. Michelle and I wanted to produce biodiesel here in Hernando County. A lot of misconceptions about biodiesel was, it screws up your engine. No, what screwed up your engine, was regular diesel because there's a lot of wax in it. What would the queen bee think? Oh God, that's true. Think about that. All of her little constituents all high and wanting to bang her. High, horny, and hungry.
Brought you back double the honey. How you feel now?
Yeah, so it's just a bee.
John says we have been warned.
Yeah, it's just a bee.
Was it John? Okay, so John said that. John might have said that. Somebody said it. One of you freaking people out there posted it on Facebook, and I just
Like he said, we've been warned by many
about Henry Ford
of
warning
people
us.
in
I
the
thought it
past.
was old Wiseman.
yeah,
I thought it was old Wiseman that said it.
Yeah,
But
I'm not sure which one.
He said it wasn't. He said he thinks it was John. John says we have been warned by many, and that is very true. We have been warned by many. We've been warned by Mother Nature herself. Let's just put it that way. Look what's going on in the world right now. It is 48 degrees outside, all right, in Florida. I don't think I remember it getting this cold. Maybe end of maybe middle of December, end of December. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
not usually this early.
No.
Shit, it's been a lot
No.
colder than this previous weeks.
Yes.
Seems like El Nino's kicking through.
The other day it was
Kicking our
33.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Mother
cold.
Nature is definitely saying, "Hey guys, you are fucking shit up." You know what I mean?
So is Mish.
Silent Mish is over there throwing shit.
She broke her.
Excuse
Poor
me.
Charlie Brown tree.
Again, I want to thank Derek for taking the time. No
Yes, that was
problem,
awesome.
Derek. He just chimed in and said, "Thank you, Talk Shit Radio." Derek, honestly, don't thank us. Thank you
Yes.
No,
for
thank
taking your
yourself.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Probably going to use the shit out of your interview. I'll tell you that right now because it was a great interview. My listeners are going to hear a lot more of it because I'm going to replay the hell out of it. Yes, it can make jet fuel. Jet fuel is a simple composition, actually, of 3 chemicals. I mean, I could go into chemical compounds if you want me to with diesel engines and jet fuel and all of that. Because
Like, I can get
out of
technical.
biofuels, there are all grades of fuel you can make. Now, back to what I was saying about the diesel engine. People say, you got to keep changing your filters and it clogs up your engines and this and that.
Yeah, but it's built off pressure.
No, what's happening is there's wax in regular diesel fuel. What's going on is biodiesel is cleaning your engine, your fuel system, and removing that wax. Those fuel filters are catching it. So yes, if you start using 100% blend of biodiesel, you're going to have to, every couple hundred miles, change your fuel filters because your engine is now being cleaned out and is going to run way more efficient. Derek, I would have to pull up all the specs that I have, but I did a lot of research on making biodiesel. I wanted to do it here in Hernando County. I wanted to supply the counties, the airports, and that is why I did look up all the chemical compounds, what it takes to make what, how it's made, the process, different temperatures,
But after using a lot of biodegradable diesel, will it clean it out completely where you don't have to constantly change the filters?
Yes, absolutely.
All you need to do is just get all that crap out,
That's
after
it.
a period of time.
Now,
possibly a year.
I would love to get a hold of Willie Nelson about biodiesel because he's the man when it comes to biodiesel. He is the leader in the industry. Yeah, you just want to smoke some of his ganja.
Right?
That's
Come
what
on,
it is.
Willie.
Come on, Willie. Let's talk some bio weed.
You play the guitar, I'll pack them.
Enough said. I don't know. I just one of the things that I looked into was because instead of going and using recycled grease from restaurants, because of
Vegetable
the
oil,
process
peanut
that you
oil.
have to go through to clean it and make it usable, I tried to figure out a way to make my own oil. Looked into the price of an oil press. Got 3 different ones that I would have used that did X amount of tons per gallon per hour type thing. I found that there was 2 different kinds of seeds. One is one's hemp. The hemp seed was a number 2 actually, and then I can't remember the name of the other plant that was the number 1, and it was like a sunflower. It looks like a sunflower. No. Peanut's there, but it's not. There was. I can't remember the name of it. Now I'll think of it, and I'll get it up there on the Facebook
See it
page.
5 hours from now.
Yeah, that's the
One
thing.
name
It'll
on Talk
come
Shit Radio.
right.
Poof.
Everybody will be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about now?"
What does that mean?
Right? It's just those are the 2 cleanest oils and the best. They produce just a cleaner oil and a better oil to blend to make biofuel. Biodiesel is nothing but a type of oil. Lye. You know what lye is, right? Okay. Flaxseed. Thank you, old wise man. He is the man. Flaxseed oil.
I was just
and
looking.
hemp
I was
oil.
just looking it up.
Yep. I knew it was a type of. And didn't Carrie make some flaxseed pillows, or was that what were those pillows that she used? Do you remember, John? What was the seeds that Carrie used for those pillows that she was making? I know that's another good source if you grind those up. Is there a link to the recording? Yes, there is, Derek. I will go ahead and grab that for you real quick here. I'll do it. Hold on. Let's see. The link to the broadcast is now going to be in the chat. Control V. I didn't know about Control C and Control V up until I worked for John at Allface.
My chat's still not even up. I
Here,
refresh.
I stalled this.
Really? Mine's been up the whole time.
Yeah, mine's been up the whole time. But
Mine wasn't either. I've been reading yours, that's why. I finally shut it down.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it just
oh,
wouldn't
okay.
refresh.
I don't know why. What happened? I'm talking about. There was one that she used. John says barley. That's the one. Barley seeds. Barley seeds are another good oil producer. You grind them up. Yep. So we got about 20 minutes left of the show. Yeah, Carrie was making actually candles, all these natural, like natural product, no chemicals, all natural soaps, candles. I think she was making shampoos, all sorts of cool
You can
stuff.
make all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, yep.
Derek was saying that we should check out that Willie's biodiesel.
Yeah, yep.
And I got it pulled up here on the page, and it says that this biodiesel is a petroleum diesel alternative made from waste vegetable oil, waste fats, and seed oil crops. Biodiesel is a cleaner alternative, producing 70% less harmful emissions when compared to ULSD.
Yep, absolutely.
It's made in America and from the most sustainable materials available.
Well, when the guy Diesel invented the diesel engine, he designed it to run off of
straight oil,
straight vegetable oil, any kind of oil.
You can literally buy a brand new tractor trailer, and this goes out to John because he's in the trucking industry. He can actually go and buy a brand new tractor trailer, all right, and fill his 300 or 150 gallon tanks, whatever they put on them at the time they built it, with straight up vegetable oil. Turn that truck on, and it'll smell like a giant French fry rolling down the road.
It does. Have you guys? It
yeah.
smells amazing.
Oh yeah.
It makes me want food so bad.
Yep.
Which
Run
if
it
you
on
think,
water is a little tougher, Daisy. You have to do some fitting because you can get what's called a liquid lock. It's called Honda syndrome, and it's what happens to metal parts when they're exposed to high pressures. Something's got to give. So running it on water is a little different. You do have to do a lot of modifications. You have to have a hydrogen generator, first of all. And now I don't know if anybody knows about that. You can build a hydrogen generator and generate hydrogen, pump it into your intake of your car. And
cars that run on water, yeah.
you can fire the car up. You start it on fossil fuel. Then you get your hydrogen generator going. You let the hydrogen generator build up its pressure. Then you shut the fossil fuel off, and you switch to nothing but hydrogen. The only byproduct coming out of your tailpipe is condensation, water vapor. That's it. You're running on pure hydrogen. And you could YouTube that. How to DIY a hydrogen generator. John, that's actually something you should look up for the business. There's kits out there. I believe $3,000.
At that point, it has to keep on pressurizing that hydrogen system to...
It's all set up. Once you start it...
To run.
Right. It's done off a DC current. Coils inside the water are surrounded lead plates. All right. It's a very simple system that you can make. Once you apply voltage, it generates hydrogen gas. The tubes out of the top pump it out, so on and so forth. And that's why you let it build up that pressure. You run it off of fossil fuel, you turn your system on, let it build up some hydrogen. Once it's built up hydrogen pressure, boom, you're off. So, yeah. Wow. I'll look up some of those kits and get them online. They're pretty badass. Marijuana cooking. Whoa. Hold on, wait a minute. We just saw...
Marijuana cooking Italian grandmother.
Yeah, marijuana cooking Italian grandmother.
New York.
Becomes YouTube sensation overnight. No shit.
She's awesome.
Yep. That's pretty cool. I wish my grandmother was alive because I guarantee she would cook some damn pot brownies and shit. But yeah, biodiesel to me, I could sit and talk about it and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And anybody that knows me, am I wrong, Michelle? What did I talk about? Nothing but biodiesel. Biodiesel this, what it can be used for that. Look at those tanks over there. Look, I can replace those and get that grease over there. And I had biodiesel on the brain. I had so much biodiesel on the brain, it was oozing out of my ears. Oh, no, that might have been the wax.
That might have been just the wax.
You guys awake over there?
Nope.
Huh?
She's honest. Nope. Maria's mad. She ain't got her baby. She's got the dinosaur over there. Maria posted a story and said if I went to go read it, pull it up, by the time the show was over, I'd be able to read the story. She said this thing's so slow. Oh,
see, I was always curious why McDonald's didn't, if they know they can make a few cars that run off vegetable oil, why didn't they do that to maybe a dozen cars or so in cities?
Their own trucks.
And just send them around? Because they make me hungry. I want fast food so bad when I smell one of those cars.
Yeah, that's actually a good marketing
Exactly.
ploy.
I heard that's what they do at like the big fairs or something like that. They actually have vents
Yeah,
at the
that
top
just-
of their things that push the carny food
they're
out.
It's not at the top. They vent it at the bottom. I did see that. And who the hell was I with? I think I was with Anthony Jacobs. And he knows somebody. He did business with somebody, and they were just building one. And certain ones, they'll take a fan, they'll put it in it, and they'll like vent popcorn out the bottom so it stays low and goes up. Or like they'll.
The Simpsons did an episode
for
like
them
that.
for them to attract popcorn eaters.
Yeah. That's a good
Just to
marketing
attract
ploy.
you to
But
the
think
smell.
about it. If you took one of those little Isuzu trucks, Tony, you know what I'm talking about, the ones where they put the billboard on the back,
Where they have no hood. It's just...
Yeah, it's just a straight job, right? And put biodiesel in it and put a McDonald's sign on there and drove around town smelling like French fries. Your French fry sales would go through the freaking roof.
Your
Think
food
about
sales
it.
just would
Yeah, you
skyrocket.
drive around some stoner neighborhood.
It's all
and-
subliminal messaging.
You
Ah,
are hungry. Let's
enough
get
said.
your tummy.
I got the last cup of coffee, guys. So,
I got iced coffee. Iced black coffee.
ooh, I've never done
don't
iced
drink
coffee
coffee.
black. I don't know
No
if I
sugar.
could.
No sugar because
It's hard enough to drink hot coffee black. For
You don't
me.
like black coffee?
Not particularly, no.
I can't say that I am, I love it, but I do like black coffee. Espresso? Oh, I'll do it. I'll do double
I've been drinking it for a
espressos
couple
all day
days
long,
now.
man.
No.
Doing shots of double espresso. She'll tell you, whenever we went and left here to go to New Orleans and clean up for Hurricane Katrina, I'd go to my boss's house for the disaster relief company that I worked for, and we'd sit there and drink a pot of espresso. Bang, bang, shot after shot after shot, and then hammer out and head out to freaking New
You'll be
Orleans.
up for another 2 days.
Yeah, oh yeah. Drive all the way to New Orleans, get the equipment set up, get the campsite set up, and then finally hang
Crash.
out and smash.
See, when I was younger, I used to drink those little half and halves.
I still do, so.
Yeah, when you're at the,
See, I can't
diner
do
or
it.
something.
Yeah. When I
love
was
it.
younger, they tasted sweet. Now they got this nasty, bitter, funky taste.
I put half and half in my cereal.
Oh.
Yeah. And if we have heavy cream, I'll go whoop, over the top of it, mix it all in. Mm-hmm. That is some good shit.
I like animal crackers with Cool Whip.
Yeah. You know what else is really good? And it's, I'm broke and got nothing to eat food, but it's still good. It's bread broken up, pour some sugar, a little bit of sugar over it, a little bit of cinnamon. No syrup.
No syrup?
No syrup. And then a little bit of heavy cream, just enough for the bread to absorb the heavy cream. That's good stuff.
So Derek says that hemp seed oil is not a high temp cooking oil. So does that mean you can't use it for like frying?
No.
It won't work for frying.
Don't imagine it would
doesn't-
then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it doesn't cook at high temperatures.
Yeah.
Under 150 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it'll pop off a cylinder in a damn diesel engine.
Yeah, well, that's different though
Huge.
because that's pressure.
That's pressure. Yeah. build up.
That's heat. Heat built by pressure. Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I first learned about diesel engines when I went to school.
What do you mean they don't have a spark plug?
Yeah, it was jaw dropping.
Yeah.
Huh?
Glow plugs? What are those?
Oh, get it.
Yeah. And the glow plugs were only
just to start it.
Only
Just
to
to
start
start
it
it, yeah.
because
Just
it would
start.
in a cold engine you
Yep.
needed the heat.
I was amazed.
That's why there was plugs to keep it warm during the night when the engine was off for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I had a mower, an old golf course mower.
Really?
That had the diesel 3-cylinder
That must
diesel
be
engine on it.
badass.
And it had a glow plug.
Like a rotary engine then.
No, it was regular
Really?
3-cylinder diesel engine on
Oh,
it.
okay.
But
Straight-
it had the glow
straight-
plug on it.
Yeah.
And in order to start it on cold days, you still had to use the glow
Yeah,
plug.
you had to go click.
No, you had to
One,
sit there and hold the
two.
button.
Oh, it was one of those. Okay.
Yeah, you had to hold the button in
And wait for the light to turn.
and wait for the light to turn on or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There was some little thing that had
Yep.
to turn
Indicator.
on, and then
Fire it up.
fire it up.
I
yeah.
bet you can mow some shit with that thing.
Yeah, it had a
Yeah.
72-inch cut on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Diesel. Nice.
Diesel. Yeah.
Why ain't that?
With a
that-
hydraulic lift for the
for the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. Nice
What?
PTO on
Yeah,
the
but
back.
if you
I would
had
assume.
and it had hydraulic transmission too, so you went from forward
See,
to
that's
reverse
a
just by switching
oh
the pedal.
hydrostatic transmission.
Right. So
Yes.
if you lifted the deck up
Uh-huh.
and then hit reverse, the deck was going to be back on the ground, and the rear wheels were going to be up, and you were going to be leaning over the steering wheel. Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. So
I've always been fascinated by the diesel engine, what it can do, what you can do with it, how you can, make it burn. There is now, guys, I could talk about this shit all the time, but have you ever heard, everybody's heard of quantum physics, right? Right, okay. So there's what's called a quantum generator out there. Now, you know about quantum physics, it's unlimited. There's just no end to it. Well, a quantum generator does the same thing.
Unlimited generation.
You take an electric motor and you wire it to where it has 12 volt plugged into a generator head.
Mm-hmm.
Then you use 12 volt to get that electric motor spinning, to get that generator head spinning, to generate electricity. Then you switch the voltage on a switch from that 12 volt in the wall to your generator head now, and now you have quantum energy. That electric motor is being powered by itself. The generator head is now being turned by an electric motor that it is generating electricity.
Power for. Yes.
It's
Wow.
quantum generator.
I don't know why somebody didn't
All
figure
over
that out
YouTube.
before.
They're
I mean,
all
I
over
figured that
YouTube.
out years and years ago.
Ask
that
Mike the
why
mechanic.
won't that work?
Ask Mike the mechanic how many times just me in the shop thinking about things, looking at things, going, Mikey, will this work? You know what I mean?
You know, I was like,
and
well,
he said the
if
same
you're
thing,
using, if
Tony.
you're making a generator and it's starting by a battery, I mean,
Yep.
it's the same thing as your
Why
car.
can't you generate? why
It's the
can't you
same
take
thing
it,
as your
plug it
car
into
generating
itself?
power back for the battery.
Right. Yep.
So why can't you make
A generator.
a generator that generates itself?
You can.
I would
You know,
think-
the power from the generator should be able to generate power.
It does.
To run it once it's on.
But does it have
does.
enough RPMs to sustain the motor?
Depending on now, listen, it all depends on the head, and this is how Mike explained it to me. Now, Mikey is fucking brilliant when it comes to this shit, and I won't deny it. I mean, you guys have been to his shop. There's really nothing he can't do. So
Well, yeah, it would have to have a big enough.
you put a
engine.
big enough
It would
generator
have-
head
yeah,
on it,
engine
sure.
to turn that.
It would have enough
fully.
to turn itself,
Yeah.
and then whatever else you needed it.
Right.
Right. I want to build one in my shed. I want to insulate my shed right there. Build one in my shed to run my house. I only need that electricity once to start it. Then if it ever goes down, I need it again. So I'm feeding, you know what I mean? It's constantly feeding back into the grid. So, because I guess here in Florida, it's illegal to disconnect from the grid.
Yes.
Is that what I heard correctly?
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Well, what if I just don't pay my bill anymore?
Yeah, at that point, then you don't need them because they're
Right.
going to shut
Yeah,
you
'cause
off.
they
You're
shut
not
your shit off.
disconnected.
Right.
Or here's a
But
thought.
that's
They
where they
disconnect
get
you
because
from the
now
grid.
they want that because they still want you on the grid. They still want you locatable. Is what the whole thing about being on the grid is.
Well, my house ain't moving.
So I mean,
I
I,
know,
don't
I
understand-
never understood that either.
So see, that means that every homeless person
What
that
you mean
lives
off
out in
the
the
grid?
woods is off the grid.
Gotcha. No electricity, no water, no
Right.
bill, no way to track them, no phone, no nothing like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got that little, whatever you want to call it. I've heard it called Obama phone or whatever.
Oh, the track phone thing?
yeah, the track
Yeah.
phone. That's all anybody's ever called it, right? The Obama,
Yeah, the Obama phone, yeah.
yeah.
Because it came into office when he got to come around.
Yeah.
Oh, you need free minutes to make your drug
Yeah.
deals here.
Yeah.
Have a phone.
Enough said. We
160 free minutes
we
every
track
month.
you. Yeah, we track you. We just let ours sit for about 4 months, and then gave it to Angela. Here you go. Burn them up. She had like 1,300 minutes.
You keep it, wrap it for Christmas.
They didn't go far, I'll tell you that. But yeah,
Called her
man,
boyfriend for 2 days and done.
and just stayed on the phone.
I can hear you
Oh, good
sleeping. Are
morning,
you still
honey.
there? I
These
missed
two
you.
used to do that, right? You guys used to listen to each other sleep, right?
I've done that a couple times.
Oh, on like Skype or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
I used to do it in the truck with her. I used to tell her, put the phone down by your head. I'd be across the country, and so I'd tell her, put the phone down by your head, and let me hear you sleep. These batteries are definitely dying. You can hear them all through the
Wouldn't
show.
that make
My
you really
voice
tired?
Fading
It
lower and lower.
sounds better now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there's a change.
No.
That's probably because I had
No,
it turned
it
up
sounds a
too
little.
much.
It actually sounds a little smoother now. So
Probably because I turned it up too much.
probably. So
But we got 6 minutes left, and I got a huge sneeze coming on.
Mississippi?
I'm going to take that stand and I'm going to put it right on the edge of her desk.
Oh. I try. I'm getting tired, honestly. Like,
Yeah, she's like,
You're right there where you are.
we'll just put a wireless on her,
You were
too.
fine. You're
Can you hear
fine
me
right
good?
there.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
We can hear you just fine.
We can actually move it probably up and out of the way.
A little bit, yeah.
We'll do that a little bit.
I put it down because it was like
If you can
beating
stay
me in the
awake.
face.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's,
It's like,
you don't have to be right here every time you say something.
Yeah.
You can
oh no.
be like right here.
that
you're
was,
fine.
if you listen to, Tony, if you listen to some of the earlier shows, you can tell that that's exactly how I did the show. It's just like this.
Yeah, and that's why, well,
That's
you
why
didn't
it
have
sounded
the
like the way.
microphone set
I didn't
up.
have the board set up either. I wasn't even using the board. 'cause I
Right,
didn't
that's
have-
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The first talk shit shows that I did on camera, that was they were through the board, but it was everything was flatlined. Like everything, I just turned these up to where I could hear things,
Right.
and then I brought these up to unified, and everything else was push buttons till it. Oh, there we go. It's working. Show's on. I literally, I mean, he's taught me more about the board with one button than I knew since I bought the damn. Yeah.
All you need is one button.
Van. Uno botano. All right, did anybody put the pot grandma on Facebook?
I did not.
All right, I'll get that up now. We got about 5 minutes of the show. We got a weekend coming up, guys. It is Friday, so excuse me, I had to get that out there.
You know, you didn't put TGIF on the.
Nah. It was 1212. For some reason, that number, I don't know, it just sounded good and looked good. So I didn't want to mess it up with the TGIF. Plus, I only have a certain amount of room to write shit on there, so it wouldn't fit. Trust me, I tried. Anyway, and in other news, Maria, you said
that means you only have 12 shopping days left.
Oh, that's right. Maria just signaled me and said she had something to read. Go ahead.
I do not.
Damn. I was trying to catch her off guard. She's used to it. First couple times when they first got on the show, she'd go, what, huh, what, where, what, huh, what? Now she's like, try again.
Well, in some happy news, remember that sinkhole in Holiday? The
Yes.
one that swallowed that woman's car in her driveway?
Yes.
She got to go home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they stabilized it.
They stabilized it, and Hyundai gave her a new car.
Nice.
To replace the one from the driveway. So there's some
Nice.
Happy Friday news.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did they fill in
Merry
the
Christmas.
hole?
Yeah,
Oh,
the hole's
they would
filled
obviously.
in,
It's all
but the
good.
geologists are not happy because the county is going back to their sewer work.
Uh-huh.
So it could
They don't
eventually-
have time to finish doing the surveys that they're doing, and they're afraid that more land will. They don't want them to start back on their sewer
And
project.
you
right
had
now.
been saying from the beginning that whole area has been unstable since, what, the 40s, you said? Something like that?
That's what they said. There was
Yeah.
original.
That's
you can
wicked.
see it from the original.
Can you imagine
surveys.
finding out your house is on a giant sinkhole?
Well, see now,
Or your neighborhood?
what would really
And the
suck
worst-
is it started in the driveway. God forbid it moves to the house at this point, because now the geologists, they can't do their surveying because of the water company.
The sewer, the
sewer
water
company.
sewer,
Yeah.
Pasco water sewer. They're both the same.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but the worst part about it is your home insurance don't cover that shit.
No, not unless...
Unless you pay for it first, that's
no,
when you
got,
get a nice
unless
check.
you were grandfathered in.
Or
Yeah, you
yeah,
had to be
grandfather.
grandfathered
I'm
in.
sorry.
If you have
There's
homeowners
no more
insurance,
coverage.
No more.
If you have homeowners insurance with the sinkhole coverage, they only cover a certain distance out from the house too.
Gotcha.
It's like the house and maybe 6 feet out. If a sinkhole is 8 feet out from your house,
Right.
they don't
Too
care.
bad.
Well, like I was saying a couple weeks ago, my grandma's neighbor had a sinkhole.
Oh.
They filled it. But now she's afraid it might go on her, so she called her insurance company, and they said sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
because
gotta
a
call
lot of
sinkhole
people
relief.
are abusing the coverage because they get the money from the insurance company,
And don't
sell the
fix it.
fucking house.
I know someone very close to us who sinkholed their house. Right here in this neighborhood. And I mean very damn close. Who sinkholed their house.
Yeah, because we had a sinkhole by our house in Pasco.
Took all the money, never fixed it.
We
Fixed
got-
up the whole house, did yard work, all of that, and
Our
took
house
the rest of the
got
money.
fixed.
And, yeah, see, that
While
would be
they
the first
were
thing I would
doing
do.
the repairs in the backyard, the truck that they brought back there made another hole in the yard. That wasn't covered by the insurance company, but the company that was doing
took
it, they
care of
filled it
sure.
in anyway. But still, another
I thought you
sinkhole
were going to
formed
tell me
out
the
there.
whole fucking thing, the whole truck went in. I was
At
like,
the same time, the next door neighbor's house had a sinkhole repair previous years that we didn't know about because it was before we had moved into the house we had.
Right.
And a concrete pylon that they had made from pumping up the house next door in his yard fell over and busted his sewer line that runs out to the sewer line that goes from the house to the county sewer line. They stood out there for hours.
Scratching their heads, right?
Yeah, the county guys, the sewer guys.
Whose problem is this?
The plumbers that the guy had called.
Who do we call?
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Whose responsibility is this?
Whose responsibility is it to fix that line?
Reminds me of the Old West. The town sheriff, the town marshal, the county marshal, the deputy sheriff.
The
Who's
U.S.
in fucking
Marshal.
who do I go to when I get smacked in the face by Joe fucking Cockroach?
Yeah, which one is
down
in
the
charge?
road?
Is it county or is it city?
Yeah,
which,
right.
which side of the street did it happen on? Yeah.
Now I'm curious, when you
Anyway,
buy a
guys.
house, can you actually get information for your neighbors and all
It's
that? if they-
supposed to
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to
It's
be-
a felony not to divulge it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so you can. Mitch is saying you can actually go online and it'll
Yeah.
tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
good because me
against
and my
the
husband
law.
want to buy a house, and
Yeah, you're
I'm
supposed to
sorry,
be
this
able
is
to
like
tell.
Pasco Citrus County.
It's against the law to hide that. Anybody who does,
Well, just like
you're,
if there's
they're
been
in trouble.
a crime or something
Right.
else, they got to kind of disclose it.
We're done, guys. It's 10 o'clock Friday. We're actually running over right now, but remember
Okay, good.
the
Well,
thing.
then it's Friday. Watch out for motorcycles because it's the weekend.
Absolutely, guys. Yes,
Did
absolutely.
you just stutter?
Dirty word if you're out.
Purposely.
That's all, folks.
He's just speaking in Morse code.
That's all.
Enough said. Anybody else want to say goodbye? Anything like that?
Have a good weekend. Thank you for listening.
Definitely.
Bye, everybody.
Derek, thank you very much for being with us.
Absolutely,
Really.
Derek. Thank you. Daisy, Old Wise Man, Scott. We had a bunch of new people. If I missed somebody, I apologize. We had Derek, Daisy, John, Old Wise
Linda,
Man.
if she's still listening,
Linda,
I doubt she is. She's probably playing.
I saw
Farmville
another
or
name in
something
there.
now.
That, I don't know. There's too many to scroll through.
Scott Miller.
But, yeah, Scott Miller was in the chat. Thank you, everyone. You've heard Talk Shit Radio on this Friday 12/12. We had Derek Cross on. We're out. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Good weekend.